Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode. I think this is 21?
No, it's 20.
No, it's 20.
20. 20. Of
Is
the
this gonna
far
be
off.
a con? Is
I
this
don't know.
gonna be a consistent thing where you keep forgetting what episode we're on? I only know this for sure because
Yeah.
I have to edit all these. Yeah, so.
Yeah, because it's late at night. It's the Far Off Films podcast. I'm Jules from the channel The Walrus Man.
And I'm Timmy from the Tim Jong-un Productions, the channel that makes the dumb shit.
And I'm Luca from. I don't know. I can't think of something funny. And I'm
Lucasfilms.
one of the last of us. And we're
Yeah.
the Far
But
Off
you were never
Films.
really here.
And I was never.
Yeah.
Oh no! And then we have a special guest, Pon, who was never really here until now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Crazy.
Introduce yourself, man.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? This is Pawn from Pawn Productions of Pawn fame. What's going on?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
It's him. There
The
he
very
is.
famous
so.
5K view video about Bill Burr.
But yeah, what's the talk of the town
Mhm.
today?
Should we start with the Oscar winners, or are we talking about that?
Let's
Apple
talk about
TV
the
stuff?
Oscar winners first, because I know Luca's very excited to talk about that. So.
Okay, wait. You
Yeah.
guys talk about the Apple TV stuff quick. I'm
Uh,
gonna be right back. I'm gonna try
Okay,
sort
cool,
something out.
great.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry
so
about this.
What was the article?
posted this
yeah,
thing
the-
earlier about Apple. They're investing a lot in cinema releases to
Mhm.
raise their profile.
I
Yeah,
mean,
which
Yeah.
obviously, I mean that means I get to see the new Marty
Yeah.
Scorsese in theaters.
yeah, because
so
I
that's
now
awesome.
get to see the new fucking Ridley Scott Borefest, in theaters now instead of on Apple TV Plus. That's real fucking exciting for me.
Yeah, but that's got Joker as Napoleon.
You
so
know
that's
what?
Gonna be awesome.
Is that gonna be a
Well,
TV show?
no. So here's the thing: there are
No, it's a
two
movie.
Napoleon
Oh, alright.
things being produced. This dipshit Ridley Scott movie, and then the Spielberg produced HBO produced series that's based off of all the work that Kubrick did for what would have been his version of Napoleon. And Spielberg is not Kubrick, obviously, and Spielberg is not in his prime right now, so like there might be some ways to fuck it up. But
Yeah.
I am way more interested in this HBO Napoleon than I am for the Scott one because even though it's Spielberg driven, it's still based off all the work that like Kubrick did. Like Kubrick was super into this shit. Like he Napoleon was basically his waifu. Like Kubrick's waifu, Napoleon. Like he was so obsessed with him to the point that like he started eating like Napoleon. I'm like, who the fuck even does that? But like the guy was really into it, and like he wanted to make this movie and had all this like research done. And that's why like even though
We know Kubrick's
yeah,
high.
Kubrick is hype, yeah, and like that's why I'm interested in seeing this.
I said,
Oh,
do we
his
know
height.
his height?
Kubrick's height. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Isn't it comparable
have
to
no idea.
Napoleon's?
He's a stan of
I-
Napoleon, man. He's a stan. Well,
Yeah, he relates to
that sense, yeah.
Napoleon.
But yeah, like, and then you have like fucking Ridley Scott, who hasn't made a movie worth dick in like 20 years. Like, because like his whole shtick is, well, wow, cool, like big historical epic. It's like big and epic, but like that's it. Like, cause like there's nothing else to give a shit about his movie. So like, it's why I basically don't care about his version of Napoleon, because like for a guy who seems to hate how his like modern Hollywood is like bloated and like excess filled, that is equally applicable to his recent movies. Like House of Gucci was seriously the most embarrassingly cringe shit I've ever seen. Like I couldn't believe that like
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah,
Al Pacino in
and
recently. He
Jared
was in
Leto
that.
as Waluigi, because that's exactly what I wanted to see. It's like I couldn't believe this shit.
A whole edit from that movie.
Yeah,
is
and
amazing.
I didn't care
Mhm.
for the last duel personally. I was like, okay, like, It was
Like the
fine,
last
you
two.
know, but like yeah, like Scott has not made a movie worth dick. I don't know. I know this is not what this is about, but I just needed to rant about this for a bit. Ugh, sorry. So, mm-hmm.
Um, I I I went to the Kubrick exhibition a few months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, you're so lucky.
they had like all of his research material
Oh,
on
really?
display on Napoleon. Yeah, and they had like they had a really interesting room with the primary book that Kubrick was using, and he had like 150 books. It was nuts, right? And they also had like the mirror to reflect, and it seemed like he had like 1,000 or something, but in reality it was like 150. And it's really interesting because like to the entire canvas of Kubrick aficionados. Like, I don't know if you guys read the screenplay for his Napoleon movie.
I've
I
read
read
bits
it
of it.
a few
Yeah.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I read a little,
Yeah,
yeah, I read a little bit of it.
and like in the exhibition onto itself, they treat the Napoleon film almost like something that actually happened. Like they don't treat it like the Holocaust movie that didn't happen because of Hitler. They treat it as like a thing. It's like you know, it's like Kubrick's like unreleased like album that everybody talks about. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
like they in the exhibition onto itself they had like this shit from like 2001, and Fear and Desire had a smaller fucking section than Napoleon. Like you
Uh-huh.
know, it's
Good.
like yeah. So that is really interesting because in like you see all the books that he was using for it and all the drawings, and it's just like you'd be like, damn, this
And
would
the
have been
fact,
fucking
yeah, no,
incredible.
like, cause apparently, you know, like he essentially hired an entire like what, like he hired an entire army to essentially like serve as like the French army for what would have been his Napoleon film. Like he was super into. I mean, he does that all the time. Like he basically essentially created his own like small army when he was making Full Metal Jacket. So like he's very dedicated in that sense. But it's like wow,
Yeah,
it's like, you
Yeah.
know, and like the star power behind this film as well. Like apparently he wanted like Jack Nicholson as Napoleon and Audrey
great casting, great
whatever, yeah,
casting.
and like Audrey
Awesome.
Hepburn as Josephine. I was like, wow, like this is some fucking like he was not fucking her. And the fact that he could still salvage all of this shit to make Barry Lyndon like is incredible. Like Barry Lyndon is like one of the few Kubrick films I still haven't seen, but like I'm all the more excited to see Barry Lyndon because of that shit, you know.
Mhm.
And
So, mm-hmm. What were you talking about? Apple TV Plus? Yeah, Pawn, you wanted to say something about the Apple TV shit? Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I thought this was really interesting news because I feel like Apple putting all this money onto like theatrical distribution, it's kind of like a massive fucking game changer for like the entire industry.
Really?
Because first of all, Apple is not Netflix, right? They're not, Netflix is just like trying to, when you're like in school and you just have to get a C plus to
That's
pass.
Netflix.
That's what Netflix does. But to get like Oscar
yeah.
nominations, yeah, that's what they
Mhm.
do. But Apple, they want to be a fucking movie studio in the movies in
Mhm.
Hollywood. And but Apple doesn't have any IPs.
What are you
So
talking about? They
the
have
only
the morning
option that
show
they
with
have is to
Jennifer
finance
Aniston.
original stuff.
They
Yeah,
have
that's
one good
true.
show that I really like.
Yeah.
The
Don't they have
Yeah.
Ted
So it's
Lasso?
like
I think
in
they
in
have
a
that
lot of
too.
ways
Yeah. Sorry, I keep
they
interrupting you.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like in the White House
Mhm.
recently. No, no, it's cool, it's cool.
You guys
They
watched
they
Mythic Quest?
Oh,
the
the
what?
Rob
Mythic
McElhenney.
Quest
Yeah,
Apple
the
show.
It's Always Sunny like show. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not. Yeah.
it's awesome. That's a
Mhm.
great show.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But
Watch Get on that shit, bro.
um they're gonna put like a fuck ton of money into this, and I think it's really fucking cool that Scorsese is like the main fucking guy. He's like Napoleon right now, short guy, lean, fucking, he's gonna be like Killers of the Flower Moon is like, we have Napoleon, have all this other shit, but Killers of the Flower Moon is like pretty much done, right? And
Yeah.
they want to invest all this money into like theatrical distribution and all this shit, and I think it is so fucking cool that after all this time the first fucking movie that what I believe is going to cause some level of change in the industry because it can't not to, right? You're going to have so much new stuff coming out from a company that doesn't have any
Mhm.
IPs, right? To make movies out of. And like it's gonna be like fucking I don't know, man. Like this to me, like because everything sucked so far, right? The way that it worked. But to me, it's like this can be like a massive
Yeah,
game changer.
I would have
Like
expected Netflix to have done something like this earlier, you know, because like there was that string of years where they had
yeah,
No, they called The Irishman a
yeah,
vanity
that was like
project
what the fuck? Like
yeah,
after they invested
yeah,
in it.
it's like this movie brought some level of prestige to your streaming service, and now you're shitting on it. It's like, you dumb fucking assholes, like Jesus. But I was just saying, like,
yeah,
they had that string of years, you know, where they had like Roma and then like Marriage Story and The Irishman. So it's like and like what was the
They had an Orson Welles
yeah,
film.
they
That's
had
how
fucking
that's how
Mank,
prestigious
yeah,
they
and
went.
like, but they still don't prioritize like putting these movies in theaters, like only like a select few, but even then it's like it's such a limited release. Like I remember the only reason why I got to see The Power of the Dog was purely because like it was showing at an indie theater. Like that was about it. Like but it didn't get like a wide release. So, you know, like I think these movies could like, you know, get, if not make money, then like at the very least, you know, get some like prestigiousness out of it. Like fucking The Irishman as a Criterion Collection, for fuck's sake. Like Jesus, you know, like, and I look at what Apple is doing, and I could
Yeah, so does
yeah,
Roma.
and Roma, and I think Power of the Dog is getting a Criterion. If not, it already has or something. Or
Yeah, it already has, I think.
okay, yeah. So it's like from what I'm seeing right here with Apple, I could imagine them kind of being like what Amazon Studios like was originally, you know, because remember when Amazon Studios was
yeah,
like pumping out a bunch of like indie films, you know, like Manchester by the Sea
yeah.
and You Were Never Really Here, obviously, and all
Oh
this other
yeah,
shit. Yeah, but like that eventually they just kind of bailed on
Okay.
that idea because they were like, wait, indie movies don't make money, blockbusters do, so let's invest
And
in the
now they
Tomorrow
release
War.
after.
Yeah. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So like if I mean I could imagine like Apple being sort of like a competition to say like A24 or something like that, you know? Like if like prestige like pictures like this is their priority, but like at the in the end of the day, you know, like money is the driving thing more than else. And if these
yeah,
movies don't earn them gangbusters, which they probably won't, then like, you know, eventually they're probably going to abandon this like effort that they've put into it, you know? Like I'm not trying
yeah,
to be a cynical asshole or anything, but like this is what Amazon Studios tried to do and it didn't work out for them, so, you know, whatever.
yeah. But Amazon, they also kind of fucking
Yes.
suck. I mean, look, if you guys are listening to this in the future and I'm working for Amazon or Netflix, like I'll share this around. But but like Netflix, I kind of saw Netflix as like glorified TV. Like those guys, they seem to me like they're broke. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
like a
definitely.
lot of their stuff seems like really fucking cheap, and it's like one season of Stranger Things puts them on fucking life support like every 5 years. You know, it's like and it's like they're like fucking like 200 billion in debt already. So it's just like I feel like
Well,
Netflix
their
is just like
problem is that they throw fucking money at every single fucking project idea in the fucking universe. It's why shit like the
Yeah,
yeah,
and they
Kissing
don't
Booth.
realize
It's
that's
why the
what's killing
Kissing.
them.
Yeah, it's why the Kissing Booth trilogy and Tall Girl have like 3 fucking movies, but Mindhunter isn't getting a 3rd season because they're investing in bullshit
dude.
instead of like actual good shit. Like what the fuck?
Mindhunter is so good.
Yeah,
Fuck,
Mindhunter's
that show is so
amazing.
good.
And it's never
Oh
coming
god,
back
David
because
Fincher's
it's
not
too
coming back.
expensive and no one seems to give a fuck. Like what?
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's really fucked
the
up.
new season of Ozark came out and like no one cared about it. Like
I heard it was
it just pretty
trash.
much came and went.
Yeah, the new
Yeah,
season
I
of
heard
Russian
that.
Doll came out, no one gave a shit, you know? And like but like that's also a Netflix problem in of itself because I remember this was a big deal when like during like the sort of heydays of like HBO Max and like Disney Plus or whatever where it's like HBO
Mm.
Max, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, like all these shows, like they do the sort of smart thing where they only release like 1 to 3 episodes like of a show, and then only just release the following episodes weekly. You know, like that's what The Boys did. But with
Yeah,
Netflix, they just kind of fucking dump all of their shows like all at once, and like that's like a nice model in like
yeah,
the
they
like
fashioned the binge model.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're responsible for making binge watching like a thing, but like and like that's like a neat thing from like what like 2015 16 to like
I think
2022.
when they're popular enough shows, though, they still do the release weekly kind of thing.
They kind of tried that with
Like they're
Stranger
very
They
Things.
wanna
select
have
with
the-
the
they wanna
shows
have
that they do it.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
have you guys
the
tried
Stranger
using
Things. They want to have their cake and eat it too, basically.
At least
Oh,
in South
yeah.
Africa they do that. Like with Rick and Morty and stuff, it's like only one episode weekly. It's like, yeah.
Doesn't that also airs on like a different channel?
I
Doesn't
guess
it?
so,
Doesn't
yeah.
Yeah, like because that's
It
not
also
a
airs on
Netflix.
Adult Swim.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
they only do that for shows where they literally can't do that. Like, I've been watching Vinland Saga on Netflix, and that show has been those episodes have been releasing weekly. Like, not because they want to do that, but because like that's just
Okay.
how anime
I
is
guess
like
that makes
produced
sense
and
then,
stuff,
yeah.
Like, and like the same goes for like Rick and Morty, because like Rick and Morty isn't a Netflix show, it's an HBO
anime.
Max. Yeah, it's basically an anime at this point. So it can like
I mean, it
it
technically
can
is.
release
It's in hot shit right now, is what it is.
Yeah, I didn't. The Justin Roiland thing is just,
Did you guys see his latest tweet? Fucking baffling.
it was fucking
Like,
weird. It's like he was
Yeah.
going on
Yes.
about like,
I didn't read all of it, but I saw some of it.
Pretty much
It's
he was
saying
like-
some very strange.
He was like,
things.
"Oh yeah, justice is served because like the court like deemed my actions like that I didn't do the shit that I did."
he was like, "Fuck you guys, I'm right." Yeah.
Number
This-
one,
this
you
fucking
aren't
guy,
saying,
man.
like sorry, and number two, what about all of the leaked DMs and screenshots and
No.
shit like that? Like
This guy,
Yeah.
this guy, he was just like, man, at least if the court tells me I didn't do shit, I can just ignore all
Yeah.
the fucking piles
if
of
the court
evidence.
said I didn't beat
against
my
me.
wife, then I didn't beat my wife.
Yeah.
All those underage
Yeah.
girls that I was texting and sending weird messages to, that's
Yeah.
now
Talking
not a
about-
problem anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a
Based
fucking
on like what
weirdo.
came out about him on like about his involvement in Rick and Morty, that statement might be the most he's written in years.
Yeah, he didn't do shit in the show. He was literally like me in high
He was
school,
racing
just like-
RC cars around the office.
He was acting like
Yeah.
a literal
It's so
fucking
cool.
child, like rather than like doing his job.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, has the Rick and Morty quality like dipped? Like, at what point did he stop being involved in the writers' room season 3?
I
That they
mean,
said.
Rick and Morty.
It's always been a good show. It just gets different. It gets different from like season 3 onwards, but it's still like it's not bad television. Like it's
Okay.
not bad. It's not a bad show. It just there's some episodes that like are a bit much in like the meta humor, like what they're trying to say, but like it's never been.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
never been a shit
surprised
show,
if
you
like
know,
Dan
like-
Harmon like picked up writing like duties like after season 3, because like I like
I
Dan
mean,
Dan 'cause
apparently
he-
he's also an asshole, so I don't know.
Season 3 is
you know.
pretty trash, to be honest. I
Okay.
did not like that shit.
Mhm.
Like,
I like season
like,
3.
which one did they have that fucking sperm episode? That shit was
Oh,
dreadful.
no, that's season 4. That is fucking.
Oh, right,
That is
right,
awful.
right.
Yeah, no,
Right.
season 4 was like a low, but like again, it's like I prefer Rick and Morty to like fucking I don't know Family Guy and all that.
Okay, relax.
okay,
Oh,
well,
no,
you
God,
can't-
don't be
You can't just
disrespectful.
throw Family Guy in there and just be like, it's not like most shows are not Family Guy, okay? Like The
Well,
Simpsons
yeah.
isn't
Family
Guy's
Family Guy.
awful.
Yeah.
Now, have you tried getting home one time and then just putting on Family Guy? That shit is the most soothing thing on the
I will
planet.
say,
It's
there's
like,
like-
Oh my
there's
god,
like-
Peter Griffin's soothing voice.
It's literally Family Guy is just the Big Bang Theory but animated. It's like, this is
Yeah, it's
crazy in the
true.
time that
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Yeah. So, like Seth MacFarlane doesn't even give a shit about Family Guy anymore. Like if
Oh,
your own creator
yeah,
doesn't even give a
yeah.
shit
Yeah,
about
he
Family Guy
does.
anymore, then like why keep going other than money, of
Yeah.
course, but like Seth MacFarlane is off doing some weird shit, making his weird Star Trek parody and like all this other bullshit, like I don't know what's going on in his head. So
I saw
Alrighty.
a clip of Seth the other day, and he was like, "When are we gonna stop making the show?" And the interview
Yeah,
was like,
see.
and it was just like the interview was like, "So Seth, how does it feel to be like back this season?" He was just like, "I don't know. I really thought we would be done by now." And then they were like, "Oh fuck."
Guys, honestly, I don't know why I'm still here. Like,
Guys, honestly,
Yeah.
I didn't even think like we were gonna be here this long. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
just trying to outlive The Simpsons at this point. Honestly,
Oh,
like,
Definitely.
the sun is going out so sad. Yeah.
which isn't working because The Simpsons is also still going.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At least
yeah.
that's like we can agree that shit now.
Oh, but I gotta.
Is
I gotta,
American
I gotta
Dad
tell
still
you,
going?
Oh,
Yeah,
is
American
it?
Dad. American Dad is still going. Yeah, but
my
like,
God.
For real? Wow.
but like,
That's
from what I
crazy.
understand, that's an actually like funny show.
And South Park too. South Park is definitely still going, right? Like,
Yeah, but like South Park is at least like consistently somewhat funny at each episode. You know.
South Park's fucking
Yeah,
wild.
American Dad is
Yeah.
awesome.
I grew out of South Park a long time ago. I mean, I
Yeah,
get why
me
it's still
too.
funny. Yeah,
You
but
know
like
what surprised me? Like, fucking Gumball's so good. Like, holy shit. Like, me and
Gumball's
Jules
great.
have been talking about it, but like
Okay.
it is the show that grew up with its audience really well,
Gumball is
and like,
fantastic.
yeah.
regular show is where it's at. Regular show and Adventure Time are where it's at. You know. So
Nah, Gumball's
Nah,
better.
nah. You wanna know where it's at? Ben 10, bro. That's where it's at. All
Yeah,
right.
Ben
oh
10.
hell
10.
yeah.
That's where it's at. All right,
Oh
Jules.
no,
Jules said he
fucking
doesn't like
Ben
Ben 10.
10 sucks.
I can imagine Jules' like soy brain being like, I don't understand. Why didn't he just fix his watch? He can just like fix his
What
watch
is
or
he
whatever.
Why
fixing
didn't
his
he
watch?
just
What
fix
is he
his watch?
turning to?
Literally.
When
It
I
makes
was
it cool,
smaller,
Jules, that he turns into a shit alien all of a sudden, all right? It's cool as fuck.
Slug Terror
Sorry.
is where it's at. That's the Pokemon ripoff where they shoot Pokemon out of guns. They
What the
okay, can I
transform.
tell my
Do you
story?
not think it's
What the
Can I
cool?
tell
fuck?
my fucking story about going to the world premiere of Ben 10 Omniverse?
Oh my god, yes.
Oh shit.
I went to the world premiere, or at least the like South African world premiere of
Oh,
Ben 10
shit.
Omniverse. I got to see the first 3 episodes before everyone else.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Omniverse is kind of the peak of the
Nice.
show, a little bit.
Now I
Straight
think what was it, Alien Force or like?
Oh yeah, Alien Force.
The one
is
where
fucking
he's
sick.
like,
wait, what
grown
were
up.
all the Ben 10 shows? It was Ben 10, Ben
Alien
10,
Force. Then you had Ultimate Alien.
Alien Force, then Alien, and then
Yeah.
Omniverse,
Oh shit!
right?
Then I went to the wait.
Okay,
Which
yeah.
is the one where it's like a reboot and he's a kid again? Is that Omniverse?
It's just
Is
Ben
that
10.
Omniverse?
Wait,
Wait, did you go to the
Uh,
reboot premiere or did you go to the Omniverse premiere? That's
Yeah,
an
let me
important
search
distinction.
this shit up. Let me search this shit up.
yeah, hold on.
You
I
guys
don't
ever
even know
seen
what
Oh,
I'm
it was
the,
talking
Omniverse.
about.
It was Omniverse.
Oh,
yes.
all right, yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
Omniverse is pretty
yeah.
fire.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You guys ever seen the live action Ben 10 movies?
I've seen bits of it. It's fucking cancer.
I've
Yeah.
seen them.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Back
See-
when I was a kid, I asked my mom to pick me up earlier from school because I wanted to watch it. My mom was like, "All right, sick." And then on the way home,
Do you know
like,
do you know the second one is directly inspired? This is like from the director said it's directly inspired from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
yeah. the guy, it was Alex Garland who made those films. He was in Bill and Ted. You know, he was the one who made them.
Alex
So it's like,
Alex Garland.
yeah. Is that his name? Am I fucking it up?
Alex
I think it's his
Winter.
name, right? Winter, yeah, I'm fucking it up. Yeah.
Isn't that the
Somehow,
guy who
like-
directed the Smosh movie?
Wait,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah.
No way. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh fuck. Damn.
It's all
That's
fucking
disappointing.
connected. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
they
guy
might
from
have
the
fallen
Lost
from
Boys.
Ben 10 to Smosh.
yeah. Have you guys ever seen that Ben 10 and Generator Rex crossover? Like that was fucking
Oh, that's
awesome.
so sick.
That
Oh,
was
man,
that
shit's
fucking
so
slapped.
awesome.
You know, because they're both like
Oh
Man
my
of Action.
God.
They're both like Man of Action series. Generator Rex was the fucking shit. You know, I remember when it was like, you know, like not a lot of people had heard of it at the time, and I was like, yeah, like this is a cool show.
Yeah.
It's like Generator Rex is basically just like the show where like it's like The Last of Us because like humans have been turned into aliens or some shit, and then there's this one kid who's
Yeah.
like Ellie of The Last of Us, where like except she can actually cure people. I mean Generator Rex can actually cure the aliens and turn them back into humans, and like his powers is that like he can like use his body parts and turns them into like machines, you know, like he's got like robot arms that you can like punch the shit out of. He's got like robot legs that he can jump really high and kick the shit out of, and he has these like jetpack wings and shit. It's like so cool. Like you gotta check out Generator Rex. And there's this, I don't know if it was like an episode or a movie or something.
That shit got canceled, right?
Yeah, it got canceled, which fucking sucks because like Generator Rex and Ben 10 they team up. Like there's this like episode where I don't forgot what the alien was called. It was the one where like Ben 10 is like the ghost thing, the black and white and green ghost thing, and he attaches himself to Generator Rex, and then they just like combine their powers to beat the shit out of this alien. It's like it was so fucking, it slapped so fucking hard. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Ben 10 sucks. That's the takeaway.
Shut up, Jules. You
Shut
fucking
up.
idiot.
Come back when you have Come back when you know how to eat a hot dog correctly. Then we'll take your take seriously.
Yeah, dude, you're posting that fucking Australian shit in chat all the time. I'm so tired of that, bro.
Yeah.
Stop posting Australian food. I'm not trying to see that.
Maybe you should invest in your housing crisis, and then you can come back with a take that's popular. Yeah.
No.
Damn. Hitting you with the housing prices. That's crazy. That's a crazy burn.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Should we move on? I feel like there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We should probably move on.
We've been going for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We've been talking about bullshit. That doesn't matter, but I'm all for it. Yeah. Do we have time to talk about the Oscars? I feel like we could make like a brief we could talk about it for like a brief 10 minutes or something if we want.
I mean, there's only like two things that won, so like.
Yeah, that's fair.
One of them deserved it. One of them didn't.
I'm gonna just say it right now. I quite liked the score for All Quiet on the Western Front. Da da da. I think
when Babylon was there, I am so sorry. Fuck.
I haven't seen Babylon, but apparently the score from that slaps.
I've listened to the soundtrack on Babylon. It's pretty great. What's the song that they use? The Voodoo Mama when they play the montage of all the fucking movies. Yeah. That shit slaps hard. Yeah, I would have preferred Babylon as well. But other than that, like a lot of things that I wanted to win actually ended up winning.
I think the Academy was just really determined that they would not give an award.
I honestly really did not like the Oscars this year.
Really? I thought it was refreshingly uncringe.
I mean, you never do, really. You're not supposed to.
I do. I know. It's just like I didn't even mind that. Like I knew Everything Everywhere was gonna win Best Picture and like some acting stuff, but like I was sitting there. I was trying to do a recording and like it was super late at night and like I couldn't get the Oscars stream working, so I had to react to them by like my friend reading them out to me. And then, like, I was just sitting there, and, like, when it was, like, literally just All Quiet and, like, Everything Everywhere winning everything, I was, like, it was just boring. I was just so fucking bored and tired. I was like, I would like a little bit of spice, even if it's a movie I didn't like. It was just...
You would have been happy.
You missed Will Smith.
It was just predictable.
So you didn't like it when like Parasite won everything in that year's Oscars?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Just
Parasite winning wasn't surprising though. Parasite winning was surprising.
That was such a surprising and like phenomenal moment at the time. But the context of this year's Oscars, like everything went shit for me, and then I just have to sit there and like it was like the most predictable.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I was just
fair
like,
enough.
Like I don't even mind that Everything Everywhere won Best Picture and Best Director, and like the acting stuff. Like that's cool. I don't really care. But like when it was like when I was just hearing the same thing go through my ear, and I was like tired and bored, I was like, okay.
What time was it for you when it was playing?
It was like I stayed up the whole night pretty much.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
for
crazy.
the Oscars of all things.
I wouldn't have advised that.
I think Banshees could have got like screenplay and then like
Banshees and Tar. Banshees and Tar didn't get anything, and that was like really depressing. I was like,
that was what disappointed me.
I don't think Todd Field has ever won an Oscar. Despite all
and he's not going to, because he's not making
Tar's
another
his final
movie.
film.
Well, supposedly, I don't know. Like Hayao Miyazaki said every single movie he's made was his last film, but that didn't stop him from making like more movies. So Todd Field can make more movies.
This new Hayao Miyazaki is probably actually gonna be his last.
Well, yeah, because afterwards he's gonna be dead.
Damn,
He's
are
like,
you gonna kill him? What's going on?
he's gonna be dead.
Yeah.
He's in his late 80s. He's
Yeah.
he's donezo after this one. Yeah. So
Yeah, Luca put out the bounty on his head just now. Now it's gonna be your last
Studio
bitch.
Ghibli bitch.
I want to see you make something else in hell.
But you know what? If Tar and Banshees not winning anything also means that Elvis doesn't win anything, then that is a price that I'm willing to pay, because
Nah, fuck
Elvis
that.
can go fuck itself. Elvis can suck my dick. It's the fact that it was nominated along with all these other movies is just genuinely insulting. I was fuck. So I was glad it didn't win anything.
I would have rather had Elvis win like best editing just for like
Why?
me to have a reaction.
No.
just so it
No.
wasn't so boring for me. For me personally, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so
no.
I would have been
They
really
didn't have the decision to leave, man.
yeah, they didn't have
Yeah,
decision to
tough
leave.
Decision to leave so hard.
They didn't even bother
That was
giving it a best
bullshit.
international film. Like what?
Literally, what the
Yeah.
fuck? What was even in the
Yeah.
international film category? It was like the movie of the year for like international.
it
It's
All
like, what the
Quiet.
fuck?
I thought it was gonna go to
Exactly,
EO.
right?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Also, why bother putting All Quiet in like that nomination if you were just gonna give it the award anyway? Like, because it's nominated for
Yeah.
best fucking picture too. So it's like, what the fuck?
Literally.
What is the and I want to
mean-
make clear, I'm
Yeah,
not like
I guess it's
Timmy,
just to be like-
to be fair, that's the same argument that guy who was complaining that the Parasite didn't win.
no.
made.
Yeah, that's I was just going to no. If you would just let me explain, I was just going to explain
Okay,
myself.
okay.
Don't put me in that same category as that fat fucking loser. Okay. So here's the thing. I am not like that dipshit where it's like, oh my god, Joker should have won. Fuck you, Barrett. I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying is, it's that if if All Quiet was basically going to win all these like technical awards anyway, and it's gonna get a Best Picture nomination, then it's like it's just unsurprising when it wins Best International Feature, because it's like that's just coming anyway. Like Parasite was a genuine surprise. Like I didn't think it was going to win Best Picture or directing or screenplay or literally any of these other things. So like it winning like Best International Feature film, like it wasn't that big of a deal. But with like All Quiet, like it got jerked off with all these like 11 Oscar nominations. It's like it's just not surprising, So I guess like I'm speaking from like it's like a Lucas perspective where it's like, yeah, it's like it's not surprising that it wins Best International Feature Film. I
Because
don't know.
they gave it one Best Picture in 1930, so like you have to do it again.
Oh hell yeah!
I
like
was scared when that started winning like all the awards at the beginning. I
Yeah,
was like,
so was I.
no.
imagine if
I
it
was
won
like,
like Best
no way.
Screenplay or Best Directing or something
If it
like
won, if it
Yeah.
won best like adapted,
They
like,
always
I would've
nominate
been
war
fucking
films
scared.
for like screenplay, but some of those have like the least amount of dialogue. Like then, like 1917.
Mhm. I just think they love anti-war films, right? That's
And
probably
play.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
definitely.
That is
We're gonna
definitely
talk
why.
about it, but like Lynne Ramsay won Best Screenplay for You Were Never Really Here for at Cannes, and that barely had any dialogue. So I guess like that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. See, but that is also to Joaquin's credit because he also wrote it. So.
Oh
that
really?
is-
I
Like,
did not know
people-
that.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know
People
that.
He
like
he
to think-
co-wrote it. He didn't want any credit for it, but he co-wrote it for sure. And then like in the
Oh, that's awesome.
under interview, she was like, "Joaquin helped me," and he was like, "Shut up! Don't tell people that." I don't know.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the movies that we should be speaking about.
Speaking of
Yeah, we should get onto those.
yeah,
yeah,
well,
we should.
we
move
should.
On.
We're gonna talk about The Last of Us now, right? Or
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just really like movies, and I was like, that's not a movie. I mean, it basically is.
Well,
but,
speaking of the things we should be speaking about.
Speaking of things that
Yeah.
are fucked, the Last of Us, it was a show based on a game produced by Good Puppy. I think that's the studio that's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you guys think? I thought it was good.
Well, as someone who's
Uh,
never played the games before.
Oh yeah,
and
we have this
basically went in-
perspective. Yeah.
basically went in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't spoil part 2 for me, please.
Mm.
Basically went in completely blind. I was very, very impressed that I'm. I'm very looking forward to playing the games now because that will be a whole different perspective. I'll be one of the only people on the planet who saw the show first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
true.
It'll be like Antkind.
Yeah.
It'll
for
be
real.
like it'll
Yeah.
be like someone who had never seen the Whedon cut of Justice League, but only saw like the Snyder cut. At
Exactly.
first, it's like fucking uncanny valley shit, you know. So, yeah. If you
And then I can be like, oh, I remember this part from the show. This is gonna be fucking awesome
Well,
to play.
okay, well, yeah, I guess like yeah, if you've seen the show, you've basically experienced the whole story of the game because after episode 3, everything is pretty much like the exact same, like direct. Like there were like minor changes, like of course,
Yeah.
but everything is pretty much exactly the same, you know? And like at as someone who is a massive fan of the game, I think that works both to its benefit but also as a detriment as well because you know, like I try to separate one thing from the other when something is being adapted, but it's kind of difficult to do that with something like The Last of Us because one, not only is it like a very personal like story for me, it's very important to me, but even taking aside from the fact like I think my just sort of issue with video game adaptations like regardless of quality is the thing that makes video games really really great is player interactivity. Like you're the one like instigating the story, you're the one that's driving the character's actions. So like no matter what, like how in the fuck are you going to replicate like player interaction and like player involvement in a TV show, you know? Like that's just not possible.
Well, you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
That's the thing.
And like I know like and this is like a personal preference more than anything, but like my issue with The Last of Us was that like even though I am invested in what's happening, I don't feel the same emotions that I did in the game because like in the game like you are instigating a lot of that stuff and like you are like heavily involved in what's happening, and in the show it's like you have a more of a detached detached POV, like because you're just observing what's happening. And again, that's not the show's fault. This is just a personal preference more than anything, but like what I'm saying is it's like because without that player interactivity, I'm just essentially experiencing like a glorified Wikipedia rereading summary of like the game's story, if that makes sense. Again, it's not a bad show. It's not like a poorly made series or
Yeah.
anything, but it's like these were just sort of personal nitpicks that I really could not get over, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
I completely get what you're saying, and I have a bit of a theory as to why that happened. Um, so up until like episode 3, right?
The best episode, by the way. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
by
Like
far.
up until episode 3, like things were looking up pretty nicely,
Mhm.
and after that, like the show it fell off or anything, but something started happening with it that was really interesting.
Because
Um,
up till episode 3, they were actually trying to do something different, you know? Like, I mean, they were still following the main story pretty much the same, but like they made the effort to like do some different things. Like they had a lot of like cool like Chernobyl style like intros where like they explored like the
yeah,
like they had that like interview where it's like what would happen if like fungi could like infect humanity or whatever. And like the second episode had that like opening where it's like there's a breakout in Indonesia or wherever the fuck it was, you know? It's like they had all these like cool new
Yeah.
ideas, but then like past episode 3 they just dropped these new ideas just to do like essentially just the same thing. And like that's not a bad thing, but it's like where
Yeah.
the fuck did all this like new shit like go? Like that's what I wanted to see from this show. It's like I want to see new shit. If I just wanted to experience the same thing, I would just play the game, you know? So
yeah, but see, here's the thing though. They didn't actually need new shit. But
yeah.
what they did do that made everything feel like a Wikipedia thing was a very individualistic detail in every episode, and in the screenwriting primarily that I noticed, which is first of all, everything is just way too straight to the point.
Yeah.
So the writing ends up having like this really like dry construction of facts, right? Where like it feels like you're watching almost like a stage play in a sense. And the fucking editing is just so fucking quick, man. It's like I literally like they don't hold on reactions for long enough. They don't hold on scenarios for long enough. They don't even hold on shot reverse for long
Yeah,
enough. Like
I
sometimes,
know exactly what you
you
mean.
you have a really interesting exchange. Yeah, like sometimes you have like a really interesting exchange, and then I'm like longing to just look at Pedro do a little more with it, and then he just fucking cut away after like 2 seconds. I'm like, dude, can I fucking like let me watch the show? Like,
Yeah.
I need to see this. So if it ends up being this bullet point thing
Mhm.
after like episode 3, and it just that thing only like it doesn't go all the way in episode 4.
Mhm.
Like episode 4 works, but as it goes on, it gets more and more and more like that, and then by the end you kind of feel like the first game should have been 2
Yeah.
seasons instead of just one,
That's
you
and like
know.
there were a lot of like cool ideas, but they didn't do anything with it. Like I forgot which episode this was. I think it was the sixth one where like they explore like Joel's like PTSD or whatever. Like he starts like having panic attacks.
Yeah,
That could have been cool, but like they literally just move past that like as quickly as you can. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and that's why like
yeah,
I don't really I didn't really feel anything in the last episode, which was weird to say because the ending is like the defining thing about the game's original story. But in the ending it felt like
yeah,
they were just rushing, like they were speed running through like the story to get to that ending, and it just doesn't hit the same emotionally for me, you know? Because it's like a
yeah,
gradual build up in the game, you know, like you have to hit wave and wave of enemies. I mean, I did like the montage that they had where it's like Joel just like fucking murks all these like soldiers, but like
yeah.
that's like a stylistic choice like in favor of just like, you know, character build up and like actually developing to that point, you know? So
Do you feel like they were a little out of budget though, because they didn't have a lot of
not
clickers,
really.
and
Apparently, this is
I
more
did,
expensive than Game of Thrones, so clearly money wasn't an issue.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but like I feel like Pedro was really fucking expensive because like at the end it's like the last episode it's like a fucking anime episode. It's like fucking like what 30 40 minutes is just like every episode is like an hour and 30. It's like a fucking movie, and then you get to the end and it's just like 40 minutes like, oh, okay. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not watching
It was
only
very
God Forgives.
strange that the
You're not
last
making a
episode
point
was so
here. It's
short.
like, this is just underwhelming. Like, just let me, like, literally, it would have been so nice if they just had, like, if they just let us, like, hang out with them for a little
Why
longer
didn't they
and
split the
just
first
had,
game into two
you know,
seasons? Like, I feel like that would be more beneficial to its, you know, I
yeah,
don't
it
They're
understand.
doing
would,
that with the
yeah,
second game, they've already said, so there's going to be at least 3
Yeah,
seasons.
that's gonna be,
yeah, the second one's gonna be two.
yeah. So, anyway, me and Pawn have been talking a lot. I want to hear from Jules and Luca. So,
Yeah,
Luca, you go first. 'Cause you haven't
I
really
loved
said
it,
much.
honestly. Like, I thought it was pretty great. Like I think I was able to separate myself like from the feeling of playing the game and the feeling of watching a TV show like very well, because like they are two separate things. Like you have to put yourself in the mind that like this is a show, and this is a show for the Juleses out
yeah,
there that
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah,
played The
exactly.
Last of Us. This is for like you
This
to
is for
show
me.
your mom your favorite game in the form of like a medium that she will understand and will connect to, and like as a like a TV show, like it was really great. Like I loved what they did with it. I think they like there's even certain things like in the world and stuff that they were able to build upon, and yeah, like I just really liked it. Like it it was able to capture like that cinematic feeling, because The Last of Us is a very cinematic game in
yeah.
itself. Like that's why this works. That's why even if they literally just did copy the story, like it works because it like feels like a film in itself.
Hmm.
So yeah, like I just liked it. I think the last episode was a bit strange. I think they could have had like 10 episodes. Like I feel like
Yeah.
that there wasn't like a whole new season that they needed, but like everything just needed to be fleshed out just a smidge more, just a
They
bit.
could have
But
just like
like
made
especially that last
They could have
episode.
just made all like the latter episodes longer. Like I was confused why they didn't make all the latter episodes
Yeah.
longer. Yeah. So
Like if the last episode was two separate episodes, like maybe like they get knocked out by the dudes, and then like the whole like last chapter up until the ending, like Joel in the building, like was one whole episode, or like
just make it like a
something like
huge
that.
action sequence
Yeah,
episode.
Yeah, I feel like the montage was a bit weird because like it was kind of just like, oh, Joel's super OP and there was no struggle.
But like that, but that's just
He actually became a video game
yeah,
character.
but we couldn't see that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like I just don't buy that though, because didn't he literally have a panic attack like 4 episodes ago? Like this seems very contradictory for like what they were going, and like if they wanted to do like the Joel badass thing, like they really needed to show more. I'm not saying this as someone who's like, oh, I'm a monkey brain, I need action in my zombie like video game show. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is like you can't just tell us that like Joel is this like cold-hearted killer, but then like not show that. Like it was just so weird. It's like you can't just tell me one thing and then show me the opposite. Well, it's not the opposite, but it's like what we're seeing is not exactly correlating with what they're saying, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I will say if there's one like direct translation that I think actually was effective, it was probably episode 8, the David episode. Like that was pretty much like beat for beat just the same as the game, except without all the game stuff. But I think that was really effective, and like I think that was what sold me on Bella Ramsey as Ellie, because like I was kind of lukewarm with her at first, and then I like grown to like her as the show went on. But then like when the really like weird like kid diddling vibes like showed up with like David and stuff, and like she had to like express like anger and like aggression, like that was really awesome. Like I think she's like she very much plays this character very well. So but yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So I guess like all these video game comparisons don't really mean much to Jules because you have never played the game and stuff. So yeah.
I haven't played many video games to be
ever.
honest.
No games ever. Yeah. So,
one was so insulted he left.
How did you feel about Ali Abbasi directing the last 2 episodes of The Last of Us? That was kind of slay.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Like they got a bunch of like indie directors to like just make a whole bunch of random shit. Like
sorry, y'all.
There's a film called, oh god, what's it called?
Holy
again?
Spider?
No, not Holy Spider. Oh my god, what is it called?
Border?
No, it will come to me. Not Taste of Cherry.
That's a different director. Yeah.
Yeah, Kiarostami did not direct an episode of The Last of Us, Jules. Oh my god, why am I blanking? Well, pretty much there's like a I just like the direction. Like at the beginning I was like, I'm not sure how I am on this like visual style. Like it really grew on me as the film went on. It really proved that there was a lot of like beauty to it in the technical aspects and stuff.
You know what I would have really wanted and thought would have been kind of cool? Would have been kind of like to shoot it almost like a documentary, the same way like Chernobyl was kind of like shot like a documentary. Well, not like that. I mean, because like... I
mean, it kind of is. It's very handheld, like, the film. It's, like, very gritty and stuff. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just... it was... I'm just trying to think. Like, I don't know what else there is there to say.
I found it.
So,
yeah. Fuck, how do I say this? Cuvitis Ida? I don't know. I don't know how to say the name of this fucking film. It's really great. It's like from 2020, I think. Mm-hmm. Like they got the director of that film to like make one of the episodes. I'm like, yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Oh, I love that film. It was my favorite movie of that year, actually.
Really? Hell yeah. I really love it.
I absolutely love it.
Do you know how to say it, Pon?
I always call it Ida.
Yeah, just Ida.
Yeah. It seems
Ida.
like
I don't know.
Yeah, Ida seems more in tune with the personality of the film. I don't know, so I just call it that.
That film slays. Like, it's so good. It's a Bosnian film.
Oh, okay, yeah. How did you guys feel about all the video game actors making cameos in the show?
I mean,
I only recognized Troy Baker in that.
I'm kind of tired of seeing and hearing
Yeah.
Troy Baker fucking everywhere. You know, when
he's
is
been
this guy
doing all like
out of a job?
because he's been doing all the podcast shit. It's like, wow, like this dude is making bank with all this Last of Us shit.
Literally,
you know?
this guy's just fucking paying for his kids' college.
Yeah. Yeah, but there were some like that I wasn't expecting. You know, like I forgot what his name was, but he's the guy who played Tommy in the game. He was like he was like the right hand man of the stalker girl from 2.5 Men, like in that
the guy
episode.
with the crazy beard.
Yeah, the guy with the crazy beard that got
yeah.
fucked by the bloater.
Yeah.
That scene was awesome, by the way. Like all like the like the zombies that just like did some fucking World War Z style like shit when they like all come out of the hole and like fuck up. That was a really great scene. Yeah,
A lot of tension as well with Joel being a senile old man and not being able to shoot.
Him like Nelly fucking like
just like
shooting
the
Ellie every single time. Like
yeah, I was like, damn, dog, you're gonna shoot her, man. I wouldn't be that confident if I was you, but you do you.
Yeah. In retrospect, when I play the game, I'm just like, damn, I wish I could just like shoot Sam and Henry right now just to put them out of their misery, so I don't have to like experience that sad scene and like in the next scene again. Like Jesus fuck, I don't want to go through that again, you know. So.
That fucking sewer section in the game is literal hell. It's like
it literally is, and like they obviously well now it's not even obvious because it's like if they have more money than Game of Thrones, I don't even know what they spent the I mean obviously on the production design and the actors, but like I don't know, it's I don't want to sound like
a for like the later seasons because there's some crazy shit they're gonna have to do for season 2.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. Because I
like that they got in a real giraffe. That was awesome. That was
it a real
that
giraffe?
was very cool.
Yeah,
that was a real
okay,
giraffe.
cool.
It was so sweet. I love that.
Was like,
that's like my favorite moment of The Last of Us. So like, I mean, that's like everyone's, but like I don't care. Like, yeah, I love that shit.
I was just looking forward to all the depressing shit. You know, like I liked go like when Sam got bit. I like this is a new change I actually liked, where instead of Sam hiding the fact that he got bitten like he did in the game, he like tells Ellie that he got bit, and like she tries to make the effort to save him by like smearing blood all over his wound. Obviously that's not how fucking biology works, but like it's still kind of it kind of makes I know, but it's
she made an effort.
Yeah, but I think it makes that ending even more tragic because like unlike the game where it's like he kind of kept it secret, like it was kind of known and like she made the effort and it didn't change anything. He still turned into a zombie, and it's like, and I think that's pretty heartbreaking, you know. It's like it was these minor changes that I was really looking forward to for like the rest of the show, and it like happened every now and then, but it just didn't happen all the time, you know? Like whatever. So I mean I'm saying this as someone who loved The Last of Us Part 2, and I think it's better than the first season. The first game. I can imagine people are just I can already imagine like all the people that are gonna get pissed with the second season and all the shit that's gonna happen.
Oh, that's gonna be so fucking bad.
It's gonna be fucked. It's going to be so fucked unless they like. Unless like Neil Druckmann decides,
expect the wildest fucking shit ever. You're not gonna expect it, pretty much.
Don't expect the same thing. The second game is pretty much its own thing. Like it's not like what I was expecting with the sequel. It's like, oh, they're probably just gonna do the first game again, but like Ellie's now like a teenager or whatever. But they do something so different and so like out there. Where it's like I fucking love this shit. You know, like it's not for everyone, but I really loved it. Yeah. So.
Jules.
Yeah.
Do you like golf?
Golf.
That's golf. Yeah.
Do you like golf?
Oh my god, no puns.
Do you like?
I was just wondering.
I'm sure I'll get this reference when the show comes out.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. How do you feel about beaches?
Stop, guys. Stop.
The beach 2000.
Shit.
Stop alluding to stuff. Let Jules experience this.
How do you feel about dogs?
I like that. I don't even remember if they showed like
Dogs.
Ellie getting born in like the first game, but I really loved that scene.
That was
didn't.
awesome. I
How would they
really, yeah, they
motion
didn't
capture
show
Yeah.
that.
that? Do you think?
Yeah.
That was like such a good like little addition. I really loved that. That's why I really loved the show, because like it was really good at like creating that feel of The Last of Us and rehashing it like in a very satisfying and like engaging way for people that have played the game. But I think there was like enough substance to it to like players of the game to get like a bit more and to get like a bit more immersed in the world of The Last of Us, because like
Yeah.
like the game, like the world building is fantastic. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
That
yeah.
first game is pretty much really like linked to Ellie and Joel. It's like so linked to them. But like the show like feels like it's grand big old world, you know, like there's like it wasn't afraid to just have like a whole episode with like two random characters, you know, and like I really like that, and like it really showed that like there
That was a decision I
was
really respect.
still hope for people, because like I liked the balance of the show of it like being like it felt like it was equally hopeful and equally dour at the same time, so you didn't really know
Yeah.
what to expect when. But the game is just like fucking sadness after sadness after sadness after small glimmer of hope after
Yeah.
after shit after
This Joel,
but like
this Joel from the show is a sweetheart compared to the
yeah
rest of
yeah the
Yeah.
Joel from the show is much different to the Joel from the game. I
Yeah, the
will
Joel in
say.
the
Yeah.
game is like a fucking angry
fucking
boy.
lunatic
Grumpy.
all
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah.
Just fucking
Yeah, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why I think the ending of the show was just a tad weird, because like the Joel that we got in the show was just like maybe a bit too sweet for that kind of thing, but
Yeah.
also I don't know,
Yeah.
like
It's like, yeah, it's like what I was saying. It's like, I don't believe, like, this is the same guy who had, like, panic attacks, like, 5 episodes ago, you know? Like, I'm just not convinced when,
Yeah.
like, he can, like, gun down an entire battalion of, like, experienced military men, you know? Like,
you know what the show was
Yeah.
missing? It was missing one episode, you know, that people usually call filler, but it's not really filler because they're spending time with these characters.
mm,
It was missing one episode where they really just have to go somewhere to
I
get
think if they
supplies,
did the
and they have
oh
to deal with
god,
like
I
a
can't
clicker,
spoil.
you know?
Jules, mute yourself quick, or like deafen
Um,
quickly.
Yeah, hang on.
Actually,
Or
it's
be
fine. It's fine.
surprised.
You don't have to. It's not that
I don't
much
even
of a
know what we're
spoiler.
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
If
even
they-
know what we're
if
talking
they
about.
did the museum like thing
Oh,
Oh,
right.
in
yeah,
this
yeah.
season, I think that would have
Yeah.
been really good. I think
You
that would have
see-
been awesome,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I don't know if it's just me, but it's like, I didn't think the relationship between Joel and Ellie was as strong as it could have been. Like, definitely not as strong as the game, because it's like,
Yeah.
I
You
just
need to
felt,
hang out with them, man.
yeah,
It's
like, because this
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
back
that's
to
why
what,
I'm saying they should have done the museum
Yeah.
thing in this one.
because this goes back to what Pon and I were saying, where it's like, it feels like a checklist, it feels like a Wikipedia like reading or whatever, because it's like, it's just getting to the next point, but it's like, but I'm not feeling like
I think it was
It's-
still handled pretty well. Like,
I mean, I'm not gonna say I didn't feel anything. I'm just like, I should be feeling more emotionally
it's
invested.
just
in
really
this than I
difficult
am.
to separate when you have played the game. You know.
Yeah, I understand
I
that the
tried
show
to,
is not
like-
for me. Yeah, I understand that I'm not the target audience for this show. I completely understand. Like, this is for like moms and like non-gamer boys who have never played the game. I understand that, but it's
Yeah,
like,
and in that context, like it's
Um,
really great, and I was able to enjoy it and like it in that context. So
Mhm.
I
yeah.
I think the show is great under any context. I didn't really have a problem with like separating the. I never
Yeah,
have a problem
same,
doing
yeah.
that stuff. It was mostly because I was really just missing an episode where, first of all, you could like two birds with one stone. Just like literally just have one episode where Joel and Ellie have to go somewhere, like nothing like plot related or anything,
mhm.
and
That's why I'm
you
saying
just
the
make it about their
museum
conversation
thing.
or like building
Yeah.
like let's say like at the start of the episode, right? Joel is like, I'm not giving you like this gun or whatever the fuck, and then by the end of it, I don't know, he gives it to her. Some basic bullshit like that.
Honestly, 12
But he doesn't
episodes,
have a
this would have been a
character.
perfect show. Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
if they
Like
just had a bit more, just
yeah,
a weeny
yeah,
bit more, like, because it's
Mhm.
already
yeah,
like fantastic as it is. But like,
yeah. And
Yeah.
also, don't
yeah,
edit the show so fast,
I
please.
was
That
surprised. Yeah, I
yeah,
was surprised that the
I
show
think,
wasn't longer. Like I was expecting
yeah,
like a longer series. Yeah, but whatever. So.
Felt there should have been one more episode, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 10 episodes or 12 episodes, like, mwah. Don't make it
Ben
some
10
weird
doesn't
shit
have
like
this problem.
9 episodes. Like, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I hate it
yeah,
when stuff has like odd numbers, like of
yeah.
Yeah. What the
Like,
fuck?
like
Yeah.
what the fuck? Yeah.
just make it 10, man. What are you doing?
Give us more
Yeah.
content. I want to see more. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Because that's
All
what
right, I'm
happened
really
to House of
curious.
Dragon, right? Like House of Dragon was also like only 9 episodes or some shit. Or
Yeah, it was something
Okay.
like that.
Can we
Okay.
let
I feel
Jules
like
have a little gush about it, because we've kind of been
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead,
kind of
Jules.
been
Yeah.
taking the conversation. Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, what
Yeah, I
you
was
liked
just-
about it is like just not playing the games. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just very consistently impressed. I was just kind of went into it being like, okay, this is a show about zombies and grumpy old man and an annoying girl, and then I got something that was far more than that, and
Mhm.
I just very very impressed. It was quite a thing to look forward to for me. Yeah, because I have a video in the works. It's been in the works for a long time now, where I watched every video game movie, and so I've just become so
Oh,
jaded
shit.
towards them because
Oh
they were just
wow.
all of the, like a majority, actually not mostly all of them were just so bad. So it was nice finally getting something that's like
That doesn't
doesn't
suck.
have like one, yeah, that I could say like has like actually more than like one decently well done thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just getting something good.
I'm curious about something, Jules, because you didn't play the game. How do you feel
Yeah.
about Joel exactly? Like, how do you feel about him?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's like a moral person, or do you feel like his vulnerability in relation to the things that he did, or that like it's implied that he did? Like,
Was
how
the
do you
choice
feel
that
about
he made at the ending, was it justified? I guess like that's the ultimate question as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a well-known character arc at this point. Like, and it's done in a movie we'll talk about in a second. You will never really hear about. He's kind of jaded, grumpy, not grumpy, older people who just like have nothing left and just find something again. And I felt that there was nothing wrong with his character. I didn't think.
Mm-hmm.
I think the chemistry he had with Ellie was great. I think Pedro Pascal did like a fantastic job. Then there seemed I was a little bit conflicted on what he did in the last episode, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I'm mostly fine with this. It seems kind of a logical decision and step to when they've done everything that they have together.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly liked his character. Did like how naturally they kind of grew across the series. Like, Stardy is going like, "Shut the fuck up," just,
Yeah.
and then he would just kind of start casually talking to her just to answer her questions, and then it kind of blossomed from there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was
Yeah.
really well done.
Yeah, that scene where she tells the joke for the first time is really sweet. I quite
Mhm.
like that
Yeah, that was
scene.
really great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there was this one bit in the last episode that I really, really liked where Joel kind of like tells her like how much she means to him, because he's telling the story about like how like after Sarah died, like he was going to like, he was going to commit suicide essentially, but like he flaked at the last minute
Yeah.
because like he just like something was like pushing him to like keep going and stuff like that, and he was like, "You're that thing that pushes me for that." That was really sweet. I really liked moments like that. I wish there was more moments like that, but like, I'll take what I can get. So yeah. So,
Yeah.
so glad
And
you
also
like it.
just the production value was just fantastic.
Yeah, great production design. Yeah.
Compared to like some other shit I've seen, like the Assassin's Creed movie,
Yeah.
which is made by one of my favorite filmmakers, by the way. Not to slander
really?
Justin Kurzel.
Oh, okay.
By
We'll be
who?
talking about his
By who? Who is it?
Justin Kurzel.
Who is that?
You wouldn't know him. He's like
An
he's
Aussie.
mostly known in Australia.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
an
an
Aussie. Oh, all right,
Mm.
bet.
Should have just started with that.
I would recommend his films, Pon.
You should have
He made
just
the,
you should have just said Australian director. We'd have been like, oh, okay, cool. So
Made the Macbeth film with Michael Fassbender. Do you guys remember that?
oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
That's
honest. I have
him.
no idea what that is.
yeah. Watch
No.
Knit Ram, Pon. It's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
really.
Yeah, this has been on my
Yeah.
watch list for a while. Yeah.
We will be talking about it very soon. Don't you worry.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, yeah. Do we have anything else to? Oh, I guess yeah. Let us know when you play the game, Jules. I want to hear your thoughts.
Oh yeah.
on, like,
Once I play the
comparison.
game, I'll be keeping you guys.
Are you gonna play
updated.
part 2, or are you gonna wait for the show?
I don't know.
You should play
honestly.
part 2. You if you ever get a PS4 or 5.
No.
or
I
fucking
think
whatever.
I think you should wait till the show. I want to see.
Yeah,
like,
maybe I
someone's
should just
reaction
commit to this-
that.
to this at
like,
How
this
is he
point.
not gonna get spoiled though?
Jules,
don't worry, I
have you
can
been?
Wait.
Yeah,
have
how
you
would the
had a
fuck have
small
you?
Spoiler for
How
part
have you not
2?
been spoiled by anything in part 2? That's like the more shocking thing.
Well, what I do is I just stay off Reddit and I mute
Oh,
the
okay.
terms in my Twitter timeline. Last of Us, Ellie, Joel, clickers, anything.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's a
Then
very
how did
simple method, but it works.
Then how did Abby elude all that? You know what? Never mind. I don't want to know. So.
Who's Abby?
Mute
Oh
Abby
shit.
too.
Okay, Tim, you're revealing a little too much.
I'll
All
show
right,
you.
let's keep it under wraps.
Yeah, let's.
How do you
I've
spell
said.
her name?
I've already said too
ABBY.
much. Shut the fuck up. I've already said too
Yeah,
much.
I'll mute her as well.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess if we're done talking about it, we should we should get into the next thing.
Yeah.
Get into the.
Kind of
I'm
Are we gonna
gonna-
rate this?
like companion piece, like
Yeah,
well, I guess we
honestly,
should-
like Jules,
yeah.
did you do this on purpose? I was genuinely like
we always
like-
like kind of like match up the recommendation with the thing we're talking about, but it's never intentional.
yeah, like women
Yeah.
talking and like a silent voice being together. Like that was not an intentional thing from me. That just that just happened. So yeah. Anyway,
I was just looking for good film made by a woman. So yeah.
So anyway, I'm giving HBO's The Last of Us a 6 out of 10. It was good. Like very solid show. Just, personal nitpicks I couldn't get over. So, yeah.
I'll give it a 9. I cannot wait for the second season. I fucking love this show.
Mhm.
I would probably give it like a 7 or like an 8. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I give it an 8. I loved it. I
Mhm.
loved it. Thought it was.
How was
really
it for
good.
you, Luca? Because you binged it all at once instead of like.
Yeah,
watching
I watched
weekly.
it all in like 1 day or 2 days.
Oh, was that cool? That sounds really
That
fun.
was really
Yeah.
cool. Maybe like that was like another thing that added to my enjoyment for it, because I was like,
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
we had to wait weekly.
it's
like
a really great
fucking idiot.
show for the fact that like if you just want to experience the story but you don't want to play the entire game again, like you can just watch the show, and maybe that's why
Yeah.
I liked watching it
Yeah.
all in one big scoop,
Yeah,
because I was like, oh yeah, I just experienced this really like cool and interesting story again, but in a way more concise time frame. And
yeah. I actually
Yeah.
started playing the game again after I finished the show. It's
yeah,
still
I want to
very
get
solid.
the like remastered version on Steam because it's finally on computer now.
Oh,
so,
really? Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
holy, your computer is that good? You can run?
I don't know
fucking-
if it can run it, honestly.
I was
I'll
gonna
have
say,
to check.
Can it run
Uh,
Crisis? That's the question.
yeah, Luke, I
Yeah.
got a fucking NASA computer over here. It does not tell you.
I don't know if I can actually run it, but
Got a
yeah.
Bloomberg terminal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Well,
should we
speaking
move
of
on?
speaking of sad, angry grandpas and their adopted daughters, we saw Jules's recommendation. Not the greatest transition, but it got the job done. Introduce it, Jules.
Speaking of pedophiles,
That is true. That
my
was a
God.
better one.
God.
Yeah. So,
That is true.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Um,
pedophilia, the Justin
Yeah.
Roiland situation.
Oh, Morty! Oh, I'm in a bad spot, Morty. Anyway, you were
We
never
should
really
introduce
here.
this movie. Should you do it, Jules, or should Pon do it? Is the question.
Ooh, do you want to do it, Pun?
Oh, I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll do
yeah.
it. So, You Were Never Really Here is a 2018 film by Lynne Ramsay. He won some awards at Cannes and shit. And it is a really, really interesting and quietly influential film that people very often misunderstand because of reasons we're going to discuss for sure. Yeah, like people very often misunderstand the whole tonality of it, but for reasons we're going to discuss. And it is also one of like my favorite movies of all time. Like all
I wouldn't
time.
be surprised if people like misinterpret this as like, oh, it's like a action movie or something. Like he kills pedophiles or something like that. Like I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Because my dad, when he saw a bit of this with me, he was like so bored. He was like, I thought this was an action movie or something like that, you know? So
yeah, for sure. That happened, and also that this is something that happened at Cannes as well, which is lots of people asking Lynne Ramsay about a Taxi Driver influence, and she was like, "It had zero influence. Stop
really.
asking."
I don't believe that. I don't believe
Yeah,
that. There were so
nah.
many like Taxi Driver like isms in the movie. It's like I don't believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, see, but this is why people, well, I feel like people often misunderstand the whole tonality of the film, which is why I also think it kind of fell into obscurity, kind of, even though he has one of the biggest stars on the planet. Is that he kind of has these like archetypes, right?
Yeah.
And these things that can very easily become um aesthetic indulgence, right? If you want uh an example, just watch Joker, right? Because that's like it's like this, but like a kid's version of it, of like, you know,
For
let's
babies,
indulge
yeah.
in aesthetic fully. But Lynn Ramsey doesn't do that. She doesn't get a character and tells you, oh, this guy is just really lonely, or like this guy is just really grumpy, this guy's just really this. There's like a whole literature, there's like a whole literature to it, and the way Joaquin plays him, it's so sweet because even though he's an older guy, he is also still a child. You know,
Yeah.
he's still a kid. He moves like
It's
a
an
kid. He
interesting
has
way to
the
look at
emotional
it,
stability
actually.
of a child. You know, he's not like a badass fucking Ryan Gosling. He is a kid, and he's hurt. And the film has this beautiful thing that to me only the best films of all time have, which is like the poetry that you can associate to it once you start thinking about it on that level, which is if you guys notice while you're watching it, constantly in the film there are shots of like women that are hurt when he's at the train station, when he like in the opening, it's like constant shots of women being hurt. And this is the type of thing that you can make an association of it because Joe grew up with a mom and a dad beat up his mom.
Yeah.
And it was only him and his mom after that. And there's this really amazing psychological association that you can make because kids that grow up with only their moms, they have a much bigger sensibility towards feminine violence than men who grew up with like both parents, right? Because you grow to see your mom being treated the way that the world is telling you to treat other women, right? And so Joe has this really big protection over femininity. It's why he likes Nina so much. It's why he sees women that are constantly hurt all the time, everywhere. They're like looking at him and in a way kind of keeping him from offing himself. You know, when he's invading that place, he doesn't hurt the lady, but he beats the shit out of that guy in a security guard. You know, he kills only the men. He never hurts the woman.
Yeah.
He only hurts the male characters in the movie. And it is so fascinating because alongside all of that, you also have this amazing vision for the direction, which is also like if you guys pay attention to it, every time he enters a location and every time he leaves, Lynn Ramsay always shows the location, but without him in it, almost as if he was never really there, like he's just a ghost, just like
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
know,
setting is very
yeah,
deliberately vague, I thought.
Yeah.
yeah. He enters the store, and when he enters the airport to make the phone call at the start, when he leaves, when he leaves both of those places, she always shows the water machine thing without him. Like the water is going on, but he's not there anymore. She shows the door moving, but he's not there anymore. She always does this every time when he gets home after the first job that he does in the film. She shows that as well.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
grocery store. That was like the
yeah,
first instance of that. Yeah, that was cool.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like these very like tiny things that she lets you like live it, which is like so precise to that type of existence. And I love that it goes so well with the way that she's shooting the entire film and the way that it's orchestrated as well. Because if you guys haven't listened to the score unto itself by Johnny Greenwood, it's spectacular.
Score was
And
fantastic.
Yeah, I
yeah,
like the
it's
music a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Greenwood's
yeah.
Johnny
There,
Greenwood's
my
good
favorite
score.
track is when Nina is in the car with him and she starts counting to deal with her trauma the same way that he did. But Joe notices it, right? And the music starts to play, and then it's like after all of this, the like awful and heavy fucking score that plays all the time, and that very monotone and cold, those like cold sounds that play. You have this like piano and this like very dysfunctional orchestra, right? Like
Yeah.
bits and pieces of different things that come together and somehow make some sense of beauty, which is the entire concept of the film. It's Joe. It's like it's a broken person going along, you know, the day, and a person that's like shattered, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow he's still feeling things and he's still going alongside it. So like it's this like beautiful harmonious like thing with it that it's just like, oh, it's so good. I love this movie so much, man.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
glad I'm glad you love the film, and I thank you for sharing all these like deep insights on the film. It's definitely making me like kind of rethink some things about the film as well. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you guys think of it?
I
Uh,
fucking loved it. I thought it was an incredible film. I will admit that I went into it with the assumption that it was gonna be like a super brutal kind of action film. I mean, it was really brutal, all the
Yeah.
same, but like
Yeah.
it was a
Not in the
little
way
bit of a
you'd
subversion of
expect.
my
Yeah.
expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not in the way I expect. And yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing
Awesome.
as
Yeah.
always. So this might be one of the best performances I've ever seen from him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just the I thought the way that they showed the abuse that he endured from his father was like so well done, where they never really like I don't think he never mentions it directly in like dialogue, but you can just see like how it just affects like even when he's like walking around, stuff reminds him of that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's clearly so traumatized from it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When he falls, when he takes the picture of that girl and
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
shifts, like she's like smiling and then all of a sudden she's screaming, and then it's like it's like completely it seems that it plays it off like it's diegetic, which is the unsettling part. It's
Yeah.
that there's no like you're watching a fucking hallucination right now. It's just like it just happens, and you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on? And then it's just like the trauma just happens, and then he just like sits down on the side of the road. It's like, oh man, that shit is just it's so good, and
It's
it's like
kind of just he's accepted it as something that he has to live with.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah.
I like how they blend reality and fantasy into this film. Like it's not like a
Yeah.
it's not like a Satoshi Kon or like Darren Aronofsky type of thing or whatever, but it's like it's kind of going for a similar experience where it's like you can tell some things are just not real.
That, but better.
That's like, that's the point, you know, because it's like these are just like traumatic experiences that he has in his head. And I quite liked that ending where he kind of like shoots himself, but not kind of, he actually does.
Yeah,
but, like,
that was very, very shocking.
but everyone just kind of like doesn't give a shit. And but it was all in his head, because when Nina comes back, he clearly is not dead or whatever. You know, I liked things like that. I think like the ability to kind of meld together reality and fantasy, I think it was cool. So yeah, I enjoyed it overall though. I quite liked it. I don't think I like it as much as any of you guys. There are some things that definitely I think held it back for me. I just think that I understand what they're going for with the flashbacks, and in that sense I do like the editing, but it just kind of comes a point where the film just really kind of beats you over the head with it, and I understand that's the point, but at the same time there just comes a point where it's like when it's like the 600th like flashback jump scare thing or whatever, and it's just like gotten so repetitive to the point where I was just like, oh my god, like I get it, like I get this already, like I understand that we're looking from his perspective and like that's the point and stuff like that, but you know, it was just repeating the same information over and over again, and it was just getting annoying at some point. And that's why, like, even though this film is like what, like 90 minutes, like barely 90 minutes, it kind of felt stretched out because of these like directing and editing choices where it's like it just feels like things are just being stretched out, you know. And I understand, again, like I'm not saying like I keep saying I understand because it's like I don't want to like misinterpret the film. I understand what it's going for, but like just in terms of like what is being presented, it just feels like things were just getting stretched out for the sake of stretching things out, you know. But that's just me, so yeah.
I didn't feel that way at all. I think everything kind of flowed together really nicely, and I honestly think like
I don't think I ever
it was
had that.
able to express, like, showcase a lot of stuff for only being like that short of a runtime.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I thought
a lot of
the
stuff.
film was, I thought it was really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, it is like a stressful watch. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's like
jeez.
especially like just personally, like like if I'd have to build up a lot of courage if I want to watch like this film again, like
Yeah.
especially with like the
This is
subject
not an
matter
easy,
and, like,
yeah, this is
here.
not an easy
Yeah.
watch, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Lynne Ramsay didn't think about Taxi Driver at all, where there were a lot of parallels and similarities. Like I thought like
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix's relationship with Nina was like very, very similar to Travis Bickle and what the fuck was her face?
Jodie
Fucking
Foster.
yeah, Jodie Foster's character. I thought it was very similar to that. I was like, are you sure? You know, like it's not a detriment to the film. It's just that I think there were a lot of like things that reminded me of Taxi Driver, and it was very applicable to this situation as well. Because I mean, some things were kind of weird. Like I thought like her screaming just Joe or whatever as she was being kidnapped, that was weird. I thought that was kind of, I don't know, but like it's kind of surprising how like even though they don't have a lot of screen time together, you can like understand like their relationship because they kind of come from like the same like dark
The
place where like
relationship.
yeah, I mean like as in like
It's because
know,
of how much is said, I think.
yeah, how much they've been fucked up, you know, because like they both have like traumatic experiences when they were younger, you know. I mean, Nina now is younger, but like he kind of gravitates to her because of his like past experience of like abuse and like trauma and stuff like that, you know. Like I thought those parallels were kind of cool.
I think the film has like a phenomenal way at like revealing information to you, like just how it like showcases things. Like you guys were talking about it earlier, but like just like the way the edits are used to like show these like glimpses from the past and like moments of
Oh
like
yeah.
the duality of the moments of like him being in the area and this certain areas and not being in the areas. Like I just think the way like the film gave you the information for you to like piece together what was going on was like
Yeah,
done extraordinarily well. I really
It's-
like that
it doesn't
It's
hold your
always-
hand.
those
Yeah,
aspects
and
of the film.
yeah,
Yeah.
Every time they come back, it's always the
Doesn't
sound
treat you like a child.
sensations. And Luca, did you notice? Timmy was saying before, that's like strange how like it somehow it works because like, but This film is so interesting because you know when the guys invade his home the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before, every time you'd cut back to traumatic experiences, it would be like the the foot of the kid touching on the sand after he got shot,
Yes.
or
Yes.
like these sensations and things. But when they get into his house and when he goes to kill them, it's like he's sneaking around his dad while his dad is beating his mom, and Lynn Ramsay cuts back.
Mm.
Yeah, she
Oh,
cuts
okay.
back to the past, him as a kid walking around trying not to make any noise. So
Yeah.
his dad
Yeah.
doesn't know that he's there, so he doesn't get beat up like his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he kills them. And this is it is like there it works because of how much isn't said, but everything is there. It's the poetry like between the lines that's
Yeah.
there all the time.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't tell you, but it shows you. Like everything is there. Like when he thinks that Nina is dead for the first time, when he gets in the room and the guy, like his throat is like he's just gone, and he thinks that
Yeah.
she's gone as well. He has a
Splash.
mental
Yeah.
breakdown because without her he doesn't have anything, because like after that scene,
Yeah.
that beautiful scene in the river when he tries to kill
Oh
himself,
my god.
and then
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that
man,
was
Tom
that was
that
really
was
cool. I
becomes
liked
that's
it.
Nina.
probably
I
my
quite like
favorite
that.
scene in the film.
Yeah.
That was
Beautiful
such a
score.
beautiful
It's like,
shot of him underwater.
yeah, like his
Yeah.
mom becomes Nina, and she is his purpose now instead of his mom. She is the female that he needs to protect, right? She's the woman that he needs to protect from this world now instead of his mom, which is why he leaves, and then he gets in the room and she's in there, and now he doesn't have anything, so he has a fucking mental breakdown, and then he
Mm-hmm.
goes downstairs, and it's just like fucking insane heavy score, and like all the trauma is there now that she's gone,
Yeah.
his dad,
Yeah.
like his childhood, everything, and then she's alive. And then if you notice, something that I noticed about the film is that around her neck is um a blue thing, right? She has around her neck, and
Yeah.
that
Think so? Yeah.
blue in
Yeah.
the film, I always saw it and I always felt it as an association, like an association with illusionary trauma. And
Mm-hmm.
Lena has that around her neck, which is where she cut the guy. You know, she has it around her neck, and which is how she killed the pedophile man. And it's like in that sauna scene, I saw a lot of people discussing, which is why I say that a lot of people misunderstand the film. I saw a lot of people online back when the film came out talking like, "Oh, that sauna scene is not real." But it's like it's real. Like the movie's not doing a guessing game with you. Like it's
Yeah.
not doing like, "Oh, is this real? Is this not real?" Like it is
It's
real.
not a
He's in the
Satoshi Kon
sauna.
film. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like everything is there. He's not doing a fucking guessing game with. She's not doing a fucking guessing game with you. She's not trying to do like a clue thing. Every that happened. It's just bathed in blue because Joe is just fucking pressured as fuck and by everything all the time, and he's just separated from everything all the time as well. And it's like, and I love the title so much because at the end, I remember that I said that Joe, she always shows the same place Joe was in, but now he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Lynn Ramsey
Mm-hmm.
does that, but with Nina. So now it's him and her. Now he's not alone anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
wow.
still a ghost, but now it's him and Nina because
Yeah.
they both disappear at the end. You know,
Oh,
it's like,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you've
yeah,
definitely picked up on a lot of like more of these
Yeah.
like
There.
precise details because of like rewatching.
Yeah. There's
and
no
stuff.
way I
There
could have picked.
definitely- Yeah, there's like definitely a lot to like uncover. And,
yeah.
Mostly in that scene, I was more focused on like in that
Cinema to
scene, I was
watch
more
this.
focused on the pink milkshake because I thought that
Yeah.
looked so delicious.
There's no way I could have picked up like literally any of this stuff. I picked up some things for sure, but like I was just more interested in like the look of the film and like kind of like a lot of the technical aspect, because this is a very beautiful looking film. Like I think this is like really well shot and
A
like
very
well
gorgeous film.
presented.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, all this like, yeah, it's kind of like this kind of reminds me of like I'm thinking of Ending Things or something like that, where it's like it's very much sort of like a same type of story about a character like who's like traumatized and like is going through a lot, and like it has all these like thoughts about like suicide and depression and stuff like that. But the way
Yeah.
that this film kind of goes about it is like kind of unique. I was like, wow, this is it almost kind of felt like a horror film at times. You
For
know,
sure.
like because like
yeah.
the things, the striking moments that I'm thinking about when I think about this film is like, you know, like when the girl who asked for a picture, like there's like just this like quick like 5 to 10 second like just shot of her just like crying with her mouth open, and then it cuts with those that flashback where he like opens that the back of the truck or whatever, like with like all like the girls like dead from like suffocation or whatever inside the truck. Like that's a very like jarring thing to present side by side, and it's like it almost felt like a horror movie at times with those kinds of stuff, you know. It's like it's very very well presented. I was like I was really
Yeah,
digging what they were going for. Yeah, so
I mean,
for
yeah, just
sure.
like the subject matter and like locations, I guess, and stuff they choose to explore, like feel more horrific than anything a horror film can like evoke. Like,
yeah.
fuck, like when he went into like that house, like the first like one of the first scenes in the films where he's like rescuing the daughter,
Oh
like
yeah.
that
Yeah.
really hit me hard. I was like, holy shit, this
I
is
wish
like...
I do wish the action scenes were kind of pulled off a little better, because it's like I understand that's not what the film is going for, and I did like the stylistic choice of using the security cameras to showcase the action instead of actually like just doing some like old boy shit where it's like, you know, like just all in one camera or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. I guess like something about the way the action scenes were executed like was kind of unconvincing for me. Again, I know that's not the point, but like that was just something I was thinking about. So.
Did you
I mean, it
guys?
was clearly very low budget. I think like the sound really
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
conveyed like
Oh yeah, this
just
sound
the
is so good.
brutality.
Sound design was great.
Yeah,
Of
because
it
like when
as
I'm thinking about
well,
like the
like-
brutality of the film, I'm not thinking about like the action scenes themselves. I'm thinking more like kind of like the consequences of the action
I know,
scenes, like
but
that.
they
Yeah,
like they did a good job at like always showing you like the aftermath, like especially in like the very important
yeah.
like
hmm
like
like
scenes like
the
that.
governor with like his throat slit open or whatever. Like that's still kind
Yeah,
of
and
like
like
stuck in my head.
the
Yeah,
shot of like the glasses with like the blood all over them and
yeah,
the crack, like
yeah.
yeah,
Really, really
Yeah.
good stuff. Yeah.
like very like distinct visuals that yeah,
Yeah.
like
Lynne Ramsay really does not want her audience to have a good time.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Because like I remember when I watched We Need to Talk Kevin like a long time ago. I was like I was really young when I saw it, and I was like, wow, whoever this director is, she really just wants me to feel like complete shit. And I saw bits of her I saw bits of her earlier film, Ratcatcher, I think it was called. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw like clips of it. I
Yeah.
saw bits of it. That was another. I think that reminded me of what I saw from Ratcatcher, where it's like a lot of like weird shit, a lot of like, you know, like kind of like melding of like what's real and what's like fantasy sort of thing, you know, and all the brutality.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, like this seems to like to be something that she's really into. Yeah, so I want to see more of her stuff. Yeah, so.
How
Yeah,
did
I haven't
you?
seen We Need to Talk About Kevin in a while.
Yeah,
but I might give it a rewatch.
We should,
now.
yeah. Someone should recommend We Need to Talk About Kevin at some point. Someone should recommend it when The Flash comes out. It'll be really,
Oh man.
be
Oh,
really,
God.
Oh man.
really
It'll
topical.
be
Definitely.
like a little companion discussion. We
That'd be
don't even
something
need
else.
to recommend it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you guys feel about the opening? Because I really like that opening because it's like even the way she presents Joe to you, it's shattered. You see like things in the room are like close up, never wide shots, only close ups of things that he's doing.
Yeah.
Then like a really uncomfortable close up of his face. There is no giving into aesthetic. There's no center framing. There's no shiny colors. It's none of that shit. It's just like your representation of like the human spirit at all
Yeah.
times. It's like a disjointed close up on his face. Then you see like his fucking legs. It's like there's no like let's see this fucking symbol or like scar that he has.
Yeah,
None of
no.
this
Yeah,
bullshit.
and like this
You
is
know?
what also where like the taxi driver like similarities was also like obvious to me, because not just in terms of like narrative, but also like the way it's shot. Because Taxi Driver also has like a lot of like close up shots of like just like Robert De Niro like doing shit, you know, like
Yeah.
not, and I'm not saying this as a
Yeah.
detriment. It was just like things I was thinking about. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like that's kind of similar, you know. So, Yeah, a lot of great close-ups.
Yeah, and like the trust that she has, like the trust that she has on you as an audience member, because for you to not have wide shots, right, you have to trust the audience to understand what the fuck is going on. And that opening, Joe is leaving a job. He probably just rescued a girl,
Yeah.
or maybe he didn't. Maybe the girl died. You have no fucking idea. You only see her color. You only see the color, and you only see him getting rid of the evidence. You only see his legs as he leaves the place, and then he's like hooded, and then you see him fucking beat the shit out of someone.
Yeah.
So you know what he's capable of.
But
But
even like
he's not, he's like you see him in pieces, exactly like he is. You
Yeah.
just see him in like, pieces at all times. And there was a really, I talked about this in my review of the film, but there was this really amazing moment in the cinema because I was feeling like absolute shit when I went to watch this in the cinema, like terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to watch it, and it's, as Lucas said, this has been a hard watch for me ever since 2018 when I saw it for the first time, because I relate to it. I'm scared of it. I'm scared of the way Joe ends up. Like it's fucking scary as fuck to me.
Yeah.
And there's like the ending. There's this like transcendental moment to it, because Joe is talking to Nina, and he doesn't know where the fuck she wants to go, and Joe doesn't know either. He's confused, he's pressured, so he, fucking shoots himself, air quote, shoots himself.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. And then she comes back, and then she tells him, but it's okay. Like, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And then Joe finally, like, he agrees with her. He's like, it is a beautiful day. And then the score builds up, right? And then the lights come on, and then they disappeared, like the ghosts. They just disappeared, like Joe used to, but now he's not alone anymore. He's with him, right? And then you only hear the people in the diner talking, right? And there was this insane moment where I was sitting there and watching this, and then Joe disappears. It just becomes another nobody that people are like, just somebody in the crowd, like you don't even know. He's just a ghost with Nina now. He's not alone.
Yeah.
And then he disappears, and then people are talking, and then people in the theater started talking a lot, exactly like the people in the diner. And I was sitting there, and I was like, what the fuck? And then like it was just this really strange, like transcendental experience, because people in the movie theater were talking between each other about the movie, and it was really full. It was a really full screening, actually. People were talking, and I was sitting there in the middle of the fucking theater, staring at the screen, and everyone was talking to each other, and I was just like, and I just got up, and then as I walked out, and I was feeling like Lynne Ramsay was like my Nina, because I was feeling alone as fuck.
Yeah.
But then I walked out of that theater, and I was like, damn, like I still feel like the same way that I did before, but like I feel like seen now, the same way that Joe felt seen when Nina counted the way that he did when he had trauma. The like, it's like Lynne Ramsay is just, he has such an incredible empathy for him, and such an incredible sweetness of treating him, that is just like, it's just so rare, that I think you could only get almost from like a female filmmaker. I don't think a guy could have made this movie at all. A guy tried, and it's Joe.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what was
Like,
what's the guy's attempt at doing this? What's the movie?
Joker.
It's Joker.
Oh,
Joker.
Joker.
It's like,
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Like, I don't think a man could have made this at all. It's like, because she has such an incredible empathy and sensitivity for him, that allows her to have this like incredibly like nuanced, and at the same time it's defiant of aesthetic indulgence, right? It's just complete honesty at all times. And I think it is so cool, and like, this is a very tiny detail, but like it hits on my heartstrings every time that I start the movie. And then the first thing that you hear is Joe counting. It's like 41, blah, blah, blah. It's the first thing that you hear. And then like the sound is like a world of its own, in a way. It's like you hear him counting, doing all this shit. And then in the car, when Nina does the same thing, and Joe just looks at her, and then the car builds up, and you're like, oh fuck, like he is in the same spot as him. It's like, holy fuck. It's like it's so, and like that is the entire, what Timmy said, that he didn't understand why it worked. Like, that's why. It's because like it's never spoken, but you fucking feel it because it's there, It's like everything is there. It's like
No,
they did a whole season of The Last of Us in like 30 minutes.
yeah, I like when movies, like when it comes to the films that I really appreciate, they're the ones that like don't really explain what they're doing. They just kind of like show what's happening visually and then just like let its audience kind of figure out what's going on for themselves, kind of like trust the audience to figure it out on their own. And like the movie does not hold your hand. It very much like just kind of says this is just kind of what's the story, and then you kind of have to figure it out on yourself. I'm not going to help you or anything like that. And I kind of find that really ambitious, because like I can imagine, and I guess this already has happened, that a movie like this could alienate a lot of people, either because like they wanted to see some fucking old boy action shit, or they just like, I don't know, like they were like, I don't get it, like this doesn't make sense, like the movie's just it's very smart about how it presents things, so it might not ultimately overall have been for me, but it's like I think the way it goes about doing this, it's like it's a very interesting and unique approach, so
Yeah, and that's the thing. If it was a movie about a cool guy that kills people, we would have been successful as fuck.
Oh yeah,
But
it would have made
isn't.
like a fucking $500 million at the box office.
Would have
'cause
been
that's what's
Joker.
Exactly,
Yeah,
it would have been
Yeah,
Joker.
it would have been
Yeah.
Joker.
It would have been fucking like pretty much any like generic action movie like that goes straight to DVD and video and shit. Yeah, so.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
The fact that they made Joe a loser, like he's not an action hero. He's not.
Yeah, he's kind of
He's
had
not
a
John
dad
Wick,
bod, and
he's-
like, and I think that was like kind of like.
He has a dad bod.
Yeah, and I
He's
think that was
bulky. He's bulky as fuck. When he beats that dude, don't make me wait. Just fucking beats the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, that was a very
Yeah,
interesting
no.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
kind of looks a bit like my local neighborhood crackhead.
Yeah,
God.
that is
Hey,
one way to put it.
what about that? What about that implied bit of history when Joe's mom is like, what about Tracy? I don't remember Tracy's the name. And she's like, what about Tracy? And he's like opening the fridge. He's like, Mom, this is disgusting. She's like, what about Tracy? Is she doing okay? Is she doing okay?
Yeah.
And Joe's like, oh, my girlfriend from high school from like 15 years ago. It's like it's been so long, and like, dude, that shit is so terrifying. Like Jesus, and like for his mom, it was yesterday, but for him, it's and
Ages
he
ago.
never had anything since. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, my girlfriend from high school from like 15 years ago, and it's like, oh, dude. And I want to give another, since it's to celebrate women, I want to give another tidbit of about Lynne Ramsay. Mark Kermode, of course, right?
Oh God, what did he
asked
say?
her a question. He was like, so I noticed that you have Cycle on the television, and I kind of have this strange correlation of the movie and Cycle, because Joel is the killer and Norman Bates is the killer. And then Lynn Ramsay was like, we kind of just needed something funny for him to do, so we picked Cycle for him to do the nice thing.
Yeah, because that's what I think of when I think knee slapping fun times, Psycho. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You just want him to do the like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
never like
Yeah. We should probably
Yeah.
wrap this up pretty soon, because I have to
Yeah, I
work
need
in a
to-
bit. Yeah. So
yeah, cool.
I
in a
didn't
bit.
really have anything else to say, because Pon pretty much said everything I wanted to say. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying as like a tease. I'm saying like grateful, like thank you. Like I've actually kind of reconsidered some of my thoughts about the film because of your deep analysis and insight. So yeah, really thank you for that. Yeah. So
Yes.
Great film.
any final thoughts, or just want to get into ratings? I'm pretty much done talking about it. So cool. Yeah, I'm giving this one. I gave it a 6. And I'm still keeping it as a 6, but it's like now that I've heard all this discussion, it's like closer to a 7, but like I'll have it as like as a 6 for now. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8, but it could very well easily be a 9. I thought it was really fantastic all around.
Yeah.
I think there's like I don't know if it like really hit that personal kick for me, just because of like some of the subject matter that made it like hard for me to watch. It's stuff that I'm not going to go into detail on a public podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, no, it was still a really great and well-crafted film. I think I'd give it like a 7 or 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere between there. It was really great. Yeah.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10, and in Lynne Ramsay
Hell
we
yeah.
trust, baby.
Yeah.
Her.
See,
Yeah,
I thought
make
you
a
were.
new
Ramsay,
film, Lynne
hell
Ramsay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why hasn't she made a film since then? I know just because, because wasn't she supposed to direct that Natalie Portman Western film, but then she left because fuck you guys or something like that. Jane's Got a Gun or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just seems like she just pretty much wants to do her own thing, and like studio interference is always getting in the way. So, which sucks because
Yeah, she's
she has a great voice, but whatever, So, anyway, let's make questions pretty quick because I got a dip in a bit. So yeah.
All right. Questions. This first question comes from our buddy Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, what is the best movie to watch on a date, and do you have any embarrassing date stories related to movies you saw?
I mean,
yes, I do.
I sort of do, but like it's not in the way you think,
Go on, then.
because the movie the movie itself was an embarrassment, and that is kind of what led to us not because my first ever date was in high school. I must have been like 16. And we wanted to go see a movie together, and I foolishly suggested, let's go see Suicide Squad.
Oh man.
And it wasn't great, and we never went out afterwards. I mean, also other things, but mostly the Suicide
Is that why
Squad
you hate
thing.
David Ayer so much?
It must be. Yeah, but I don't really go see movies on like dates anymore. I mean, like, because like it just seems like I don't my taste in film is like very different from like the people I go out with. I remember I showed an ex Shaun of the Dead because I would genuinely wanted to show her like something like that I really appreciated.
Yeah, we've had a
discussion about this.
I remember the story.
Yeah, but the Shaun of the Dead thing, I've said it before,
Yeah.
but that was kind of a train wreck as well. So,
Yeah. 3 years ago, I took a girl to watch I'm Thinking of Ending Things,
Oh,
and it was
Christ.
not a good idea.
What were you thinking?
What the
man?
fuck?
I wanted to watch the movie, and I just wanted to watch
Okay, you're
the
just gonna
fucking
have to
movie,
come with
man.
me.
And it was just like,
Did
we wanted
you
to hang out, I was just
wasn't
like,
that
I
like
don't know.
during COVID?
Yeah,
Like,
and that was a Netflix film. How could you see that in theaters?
I
Well,
mean,
they
we
just-
just watched it at home, like.
Oh,
okay,
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she
sorry, just the way you phrased it,
Hold on,
like sounded like you went to the cinema.
I went to her
I was like,
house.
what the fuck? I think
I went to her house,
okay,
and she put it on, and by the end of it, she was like, I didn't like that movie. I was confused. I was like, okay.
And then you're like, 10
Understandable.
out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
And like she got like, she got personal with it. She was like, I don't want to, you shouldn't make movies if you're not gonna understand them. I was like, why do you gotta understand everything all the time?
Oh god.
That reminds me of something. I
Sure.
don't really have a date, like I don't even know what the best movie to watch on a date is. But I'm gonna tell this random story just because I got reminded of it.
Sure. Yeah.
Basically, like this was like even before like I was properly into films. I guess it was kind of like my debut, like back in the like first years of getting into films. And I was like having I was like going to like a sleepover with a bunch of my friends, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Luca, you should choose like the horror movies because like you're like into films and shit." And I was like, "Okay, this and this and this," and then one of them was The Shining. It was going fine, whatever. And then like the friends that I was staying at, like brother, like came into the room, started like nitpicking
no.
and like criticizing every single fucking like
Uh,
every frame, and I was like, dude, can you shut up?
You
like
need-
like it was at the scene where like Jack Nicholson was approaching Sunny Duvall on the Shelley
Shelley
Duvall
Duvall,
on
yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
on the stairs with like the axe.
Bat scene.
Bat, yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh," and then the dude was just like, "Oh, just hit her with the bat, or like just punch him and kick him down the stairs." Why are you doing?
These
And I
people
was like,
need to get their ass kicked. Like
You
they
sure-
like,
you-
someone needs to
You
slap
sure
them.
that your friends?
Shut the fuck up.
You sure your
Can you
friend's
not
brother
see
wasn't
the
YMS?
emotional like state that this lady is in right now? If you were in that situation,
Both in the movie and in real life.
like
And in real life,
like,
yeah.
people, like I just hated, like, it was
I
so
hate those people
annoying.
so much.
I was
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
Those people
Oh,
need to
you
get
You know what?
slapped.
All those
yeah.
people, all those types of people are the ones who just do not give a shit and know nothing about films.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, it's
They're the
like,
type of
fuck
people
off.
to get upset about the fact that that Snyder movies are like being ostracized or whatever the fuck they're claiming, but then also just like text on their phone when
Those
like the new
type of
Snyder
people
movie
don't even
comes
know
out.
who Zack Snyder is. Like, they don't. Those are the type of people that like don't
Never
watch
watched
films
they've
for
only
the
wa-
director. It's just like watching
Yeah.
it because it's a like, yeah, it's like a form of.
But I'm saying that it's like
Which
those
obviously
same
it
kind
is,
of
but,
people.
like-
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are the people who
So
go
not
to the
really,
cinema
though.
less than 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a date story because it was at my birthday party, but when we watched Lord of the Rings in a cinema for my birthday, one of my friends who'd never seen it and has not seen many movies, but he's very nice. He's not like one of those people you described, Luca.
Okay, yeah.
When they were talking in the fucking Council of Elrond about how they needed to destroy the ring, he said, he actually said they're gonna time travel.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
god.
Wow, that is a take.
Which
That is one hell of a take.
That would have
we
been
make
a
fun of him constantly. for
that would have been
suggesting
a
time travel.
that would have been a
I
wild
appreciate the
twist.
imagination.
Yeah, no, that would have
Yeah.
that would have been a wild twist if that happened. Be like the DeLorean just like pops
Funniest
up
bit was
and-
my
Right.
dad who was watching with us just like burst out laughing openly, like actual like
Right.
belly
Right.
laugh shit. My poor
Yeah.
friend.
Alrighty.
you
what
know-
a fucking
Yeah,
loser.
that's my date story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closest I've ever come to going on a date in a movie was watching Titanic alone a while ago.
Oh yeah, I watched Titanic alone on Valentine's
also
Day. That's
watched
my
Oh
date
my
Titanic
god.
story.
They had the before trilogy, but I was like, I'm not going through this alone. It's just gonna be a bunch of fucking couples, and I'm just gonna want to fucking shoot myself in the theater. I'm
Mhm.
not doing this.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I was gonna
Getting
say
home.
I have a friend who's super obsessed with the Before trilogy, and he just he kind of like wants to live his life as like Ethan Hawke's character from
oh my god.
from the Before movies, because he's like, I mean, I say Xander, if you're listening to this, I say this lovingly, I love you for this, but like they just think it's a funny observation. Yeah, so. Mm-hmm.
You can't watch those movies without a date, man. It's sad as fuck. You can't do it. It sucks.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
like
I
you
saw it
need
with him the
characters
first
to
time I saw
actually-
that first film. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Before what were the other two? Before Sunset and Before Midnight, I think the other two were called.
Mhm.
I still haven't seen those. I've only seen the first one. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I mean, about the best movie to watch on a date. It's like, look, if you guys are girlfriend and boyfriend, if you love her, you're gonna know what she's gonna like to watch.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
If it's like a date and you don't know what the fuck this person is about, you can always just fucking, instead of going to the movies, just watch a fucking sitcom.
So,
it's much.
What I have a question.
Yeah.
If you
Watch The Office.
Yeah, if I have a question, so if hypothetically, if you like have a partner that you really love and they're like perfect for you, but then like when
Yeah.
asked what their favorite movie is like Dragon Ball Evolution or some shit like that, or Last Airbender, then like
Do you break up with them?
yeah, like do you
divorce
break
them?
up with them for that? Like
Well, I have the reverse because Jasper hates After Sun, like fucking despises it. And that's like one of my favorite movies of all time now. And it's like why? Like
I wouldn't divorce them or anything, but I would make fun of them.
you would seriously judge them. Yeah, like if their favorite movie was like
I-
Freddy Got Fingered, like
I would shit on them so hard.
To be honest, I'm really down when my partner likes shit that I don't. Like, I think that's more interesting. I don't want somebody who just likes the same things that I do. That's just boring.
Oh
to me.
yeah,
Like,
no, I'm not.
yeah,
I'm not saying like they should have the exact. I actually like.
Oh, you're saying like a terrible fucking movie is their favorite?
Yeah, like if their
like,
favorite movie was like Twilight or some shit. Like that's like the question. I don't care.
I'd be curious about it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I want to know. I'd be like, damn, girl, why you like this so much? Like,
I mean,
what's
yeah,
going
like-
on here? Like,
Just have
You know?
like you don't have to
What's
watch
going-
the same shit as them, but also if you do like try like I don't know, you don't want to like completely shit on them for their taste.
No,
so-
obviously not. Yeah, but I'm just saying like that would be like kind of a an interesting like hypothetical to get into, you know? Like cuz
I
the
like,
relationships I've been in, they don't give two fucks about anime. And like that's fine cuz like that's just a me thing honestly more than anything. So, yeah.
I like women who are into Disney TV shows from the past, like Sam and Cat and
Oh.
like The Wizard of Waverly Place and
That's a
shit.
Nickelodeon show, isn't it?
No, yeah, no, that's Nickelodeon, yeah, for sure. But like,
you
know,
just
the
said
Bible,
Disney
like,
Channel and
those,
said
Oh,
Sam
like,
and
no,
Cat.
but Wizards of
Same
Waverly
vibe,
Yeah.
same vibe.
No. Wizards of Waverly Place is Disney Channel. though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that brand of like like sitcom of just like I like girls who are into that shit and just like they talk about it all the time. I think it's super cute.
I just think it like
You
would make a very interesting conversation if I was like on a date and they were like, and I was like, "What's your favorite show?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm really like Cowboy Bebop or something like that." I was like, "Ooh, interesting. Please tell me how much you love Cowboy Bebop." You know? So.
yeah,
But,
yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like you have to like even to like to some extent you got to be able to link with them somewhat. Like to have like find a common line. Like I also really like to be like challenged and
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
them to be like
Yeah.
I like this thing and I'm like what the fuck. I never met somebody who liked that before. Like I don't fuck with that at all. It's just like it makes it for more interesting conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
I know exactly
I
what
really
you're
like
saying,
it.
and that's exactly like also what I'm looking for as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's do one more question, and then Luca gives her a recommendation, and then we can get the fuck out of here. So,
This
Alrighty.
question comes from Matthias, who says, "Which do you prefer, Star Wars original trilogy or Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy?" I'm gonna go ahead and
Spider-Man.
say the Star Wars original.
yeah, I guess Star Wars.
Star Wars is lame. What? Okay,
No.
come on, you gotta be with me. Come on.
Guys, I gotta say Spider-Man.
Hell yeah!
I
yeah.
say this as a
Aw.
massive fan of the original Sam Raimi
Yeah.
Spider-Man trilogy, but it's just like the first two Star Wars films, like they're classics for a reason.
Star
you know?
Wars is objectively better.
Okay, I wouldn't go that
Yeah,
far,
but-
but it's
Objectively better.
yeah.
I'd say it's objectively worse.
But
Whoa,
watching
whoa,
things-
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say.
There'll be no slander for Return of the Jedi.
Okay, look. Okay, Return of the Jedi is
Return
actually
of the
pretty
Jedi
fucking
is a
terrible,
better
but
third movie
yeah,
than
the
Spider-Man
Return of
3.
the Jedi is the best one.
Star
Whoa,
Wars
whoa,
is
whoa,
for
what?
Nerdy boys. So screw you guys.
Yeah,
Yo,
Return-
Jules
yes,
said it was the
Timmy, I
best
said
one.
No,
Return
that's
of the Jedi
incorrect. That
is
is
the best one.
factually incorrect. Shut the fuck up, Jules.
Is that the one with like
No.
the red sound?
No.
No,
Return of the Jedi is actually the
Return
best
of the
one.
Jedi is
Dude,
the one
what
with...
the fuck is going
Yeah,
on?
what is wrong with you? No, shut up. Like, I can't believe the Australian hot dog boy is is on my side on this.
I think the Ryan Johnson one's the best one, honestly.
Oh.
That
Ryan
one is
Johnson
pretty
one is
good.
great.
I
like that
actually
one.
want to give that one a
pretty
rewatch.
good.
I was way too unkind to that the first time I saw it. I really want to like just give it another go and see how I think now. Yeah.
I wish when I could just be like when I was a kid again, just be like Star Wars films, therefore 10 out of 10.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Watching the first two sequel trilogies that way, oh my god, that was the best way to consume.
Because I
those.
remember, like, The Force Awakens was, like, the biggest fucking thing in the world. You know, because it's, like, new Star Wars movie, the trailers were hype and all that shit. Like,
That
Most
was the
hyped
only
things
time in my life I
Phantom
cared
Menace
about Star
really.
Wars.
like, I couldn't see
That
the,
was the
I
only
couldn't see the movie opening weekend because all the seats were taken. Like, I had to wait until next weekend to see the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah. So,
My dad went to like a preview screening like on the night of the premiere with my mum, and I was so fucking pissed that he didn't take me.
oh, wow. Yeah.
You gotta take the wife, man. Gotta take the wife.
Yeah.
Priority. You know.
Yeah, I got to go opening Saturday. though.
Nowadays, I would pay whatever money that needs to be paid so that Sam Raimi can make Spider-Man 4 or like Evil Dead 4 or something. I
Of
don't know,
course.
you know, like
Yeah, you see,
Obviously.
Okay,
I
so you'd rather see a Spider-Man 4 than a new Star Wars movie, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, because Star Wars has gone down the
You
shitter.
see, so therefore Spider-Man is
That
that
better.
has
Alright,
nothing
this
to
is
do with
just
the
purely
quality of the
rhetorical.
movies like the first 3 films. That has nothing to do with this. Yeah.
yeah, but there's nothing like sitting down on a Saturday morning and watching Spider-Man 1 and feeling like you're Peter
Yeah,
Parker and you're just in high
exactly.
school, just hanging out
Yeah,
in
but
high
I had
school
the
with Peter
same
Parker.
experience with
It's
Return
like,
of the Jedi.
But
man,
like, you weren't
hanging out
alive when
with
Star Wars.
fucking
Like,
Wookiees
I
right out of
guess
the
you
fucking
weren't alive when
Well,
when
nah.
Spider-Man was out either.
Yeah, I
so-
was only alive when Spider-Man 3
Yeah,
came
I was
out.
I was 2 years old when the first Spider-Man film came out, and I loved that shit. I remember when I was a kid, my mom bought me like a Spider-Man like mask and like gloves, and every time I would watch the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, I would wear that mask and gloves like a fucking nerd.
You
Yeah,
see,
so
do you have any memories like that for Star
yeah,
Wars?
because I
still get
had
my
Star
Star
Wars
Wars
shit. I had
lightsabers.
lightsabers and stuff.
Ah,
Yeah,
damn.
so that was also a nostalgic thing for me. I mean,
I just
I
always
fucking-
thought
I
like Star
ate
Wars
part
was
of
one
my
of the lamest
lightsaber.
things for like my entire life.
ah,
Like when
no.
people like got like those shitty lightsabers and like
Yeah, Luca, I
uh,
have a confession to make right now. I don't know if this is going to disappoint my future fans listening to this, but I always thought Star Wars was absolute trash until
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
until I was like until I was
Fuck
like
you.
14, and then I met someone that I admired, and they were really into Star Wars, and I was like, oh, I have to like this.
so
So
I mean,
weird
the
because
very
I like
first Star Wars film, there's just so much to admire. Like, even if you think it's like trashy and schlocky, like there's so much to admire on a
Janky.
technical level that I really
You know, for sure,
yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it. I love it, but I love it because of George Lucas. I don't love it because it's Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
I love it because
exactly. Yeah, I
You know?
So-
honestly that is the correct way to look at Star Wars now. It's like I like these Star Wars movies because of George Lucas. I don't like them because they're just called Star Wars. You know, if I just cared about Star
Yeah.
Wars,
Didn't he also fuck up a lot of the movies?
I mean, yeah, like episode
Yeah,
episode
but-
1 and
I think
2
he
are
fucked
pieces.
him up beautifully.
You know, there are like admirable things about the prequel trilogy. Even like the worst one, Attack of the Clones. There are like admirable things about that one that I kind of appreciate. But
I would say Spider-Man 3 is better than every like original.
no,
Star Wars.
shut
Oh,
the
yeah.
fuck up. No,
No,
no, no, no,
Spider-Man
no,
3
no,
is the
no,
shit.
it's not.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Is the
Yeah.
shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Are you
it's so
kidding me?
good. Like,
It's so
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
Get out of here. Spider-Man 3 is the shit.
Thank you, Pon.
fuck?
Thank you.
You guys call me
It's weird because
delusional.
people would think like I'm a huge Star Wars fan because I have like the like original Star Wars like posters and I have like a Lego like Darth Vader, but like
Damn.
I don't really
the
care. about
Lego's
Star
separate.
Wars
The
that
Yeah,
Lego's just
like
objectively
everyone
cool.
plays with like the Lego Star Wars sets. Everyone plays Lego Star Wars games. Yeah.
Gotta get myself some Legos for sure. I don't have any.
am. That Avatar 2 Lego
Okay.
looks sick, honestly.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Ooh, yeah.
Just Avatar
Yeah.
shit in
Is it in
general.
3D?
Get the Lego Titanic. Luca.
Yeah. You can recreate
That I think it's like the
giant two-
biggest Lego set and it's like the most expensive.
That's the
as
biggest
well.
Lego set of all
Jesus.
time. It's like
You told us.
$2,000.
Yeah.
You told us. Yeah.
You were. This is one of your Titanic rants. Yeah.
Does the Titanic Lego set float?
I don't know.
I believe it does
Or
actually.
does it
Probably
sink?
not.
Yeah.
That would be funny. That would be the funniest shit in the world.
Damn.
Yeah, it
It would
comes
real.
with
also
an
be
iceberg.
accurate. It would also be
Yeah,
accurate.
because the Titanic can fucking float either.
Found an entire
Spider-Man's
channel
better than
dedicated to
Star
just
Wars.
sinking Lego cities with like a sand dam that they would just overrun with water and flood their Lego city. They just do this over and over
Wow.
again with different configurations of city. It's fucking awesome. Anyone
Yeah.
watching should check out King of Dams.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Jules. After you say Return of the Jedi was the best Star Wars movie, I don't think I'm gonna be taking.
Yeah,
your
I'm not gonna like
recommendations.
take anything that you say for like
No,
with face value
no.
anymore because you said that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be no King of Dams slander.
What's the name of those things? Wookiees? What's the name of those
Ewoks?
fucking bears thing?
Well, in the
Yeah,
yeah,
Ewoks. Yeah, those things are so annoying.
Yeah,
man.
Ewoks. I'll give you that. That is mostly just marketing and
Ah, they're
merchandising.
the
It is.
funnest
It is
part of Star
50%
Wars.
of the
They are the
movie.
funnest
It is
part of
literally
Star Wars.
like the entire climax of the movie is those fucking things killing stormtroopers.
they're the
It's
worst
so
parts
serious.
of the film.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool.
Either way, Spider-Man 3 is better. So
Yeah, Spider-Man
It
3
is
is
not
better, yeah.
better. It's a guilty pleasure, but
is.
to call it better than like
So if it's a guilty pleasure,
No, I still enjoy the movie, but like, what was I gonna say? I have no idea. Yeah.
You can ask my friends this, because we watched this in the theater. All right, Spider-Man 3 got the biggest fucking laughs, and it was enjoyable as fuck, even more than the first one, almost. All right, so I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
almost.
don't take Bradley's opinions as fact.
All
We're
right.
just running around in circles. Let's just agree to disagree. Yeah. So
Yeah, agree
Yeah.
that it's better.
Agree to
Yeah.
disagree. The Return.
Yeah,
of the
I agree
Jedi
that
is
it's better
the
than Star
best.
Wars. All of Star Wars.
Yeah.
can we at
Spider-Man,
least agree that Spider-Man 2 is just objectively one of the best movies ever made?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of
so
the
is
best
Spider-Man
superhero
3.
movies, definitely. I don't know if I'd call it one of my favorites.
Oh man, I love Spider-Man 2.
It is one
a
of,
lot.
if not the best. Actually, no. There's better superhero movies.
I
than
mean,
Spider-Man 2.
obviously,
But
yeah, like
Spider-Verse,
Spider-Verse
like
is the
top three.
is the best Spider-Man movie. Yeah. So
Spider-Man.
No,
Okay.
I think Spider-Man 2 is still better than
really,
Spider-Man.
okay.
Miles is better than Peter. Peter is kind of a tool a little bit.
He's-
you know?
Logan's better.
I wouldn't say that.
Nah,
No, I
it's
wouldn't say
Man,
Logan
get
is
outta
better.
here.
No, it's
Nah,
not.
stop
Yeah.
it.
I fucking love
Stop it.
Logan.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop
Mhm.
it. It's a
Okay.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. It's a solid
All
start.
right, we
Alright,
gotta wrap this
we need to
up.
wrap
Yeah.
this.
So Luca, give your recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god, I don't know. Let me get this full ass title.
Oh God.
It's a long
I don't know
title.
how to say it, but my recommendation is John Dielman.
Oh my
23
God,
Clyde
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
no.
Oh my God, fuck.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
80 Bruxelles.
You know what? I'm not. Okay. You know what? No. Here's the thing. You know what? I'm not even mad. You know why? Because I finally can say that I've seen this movie
You were
now.
the one
I can
that
find.
said you wanted to.
No, yeah,
I've seen it.
No,
It's
I
pretty
just.
good.
I wanted to see it just purely because I just want to say that I've seen it, because it's like I've heard a lot of things about this film and it's like I want to see it just so I can say that I've seen it, and I'm not looking forward to it, but hey, I also get to look forward to the fact that I can say that I've seen it,
Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
no,
really great film. Like,
yeah, so cool. All right, yeah, I mean, great pick.
If you don't want to be spoiled,
yeah, John Tillman.
Jan Dielman
Wait, let me
Quanti
get it.
Commerce 120 Bruxelles 1975, directed by Chantal Ackerman. Then watch it before the next episode, because we will.
I'm excited
spoil
for
the
you
shit
guys.
out of it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, if you, we're gonna be. It's
I'm
gonna be a real
excited too.
gangbuster of an episode. Yeah, so yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Great pick. Yeah. So thank you again, Pon, for coming on. Yeah, you were really
Thank
great.
you.
We were really happy
Thanks
to
for
have you
having me. I
on.
appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway,
Oh,
Thank you. You guys are great
I'm
as well.
glad it finally happened.
yeah. So and two great things have happened. Pon coming on, and then also I get to say that I can now see Sean Dielman. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Goodbye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. You were
ah,
never really
Bye.
here, though.
Yep.
We were never really here, guys. I was never really here.
Bye.